Kennesaw State won the coin toss, elected to defer to the second half. So we're going to look at this Furman offense momentarily. Connor Cummins, a local product out of Walton High School in Marietta, will kick it away. Kendall Thomas and Wayne Anderson Jr. back to receive for the Paladins. And the pig takes flight here in Kennesaw. It's Anderson Jr. on the return for Furman. To the 20, finds a little hole, and then he's tackled by Eli Leotawa. Some late scuffling behind the play, and Furman will take over on offense here, led by its quarterback, the Presbyterian transfer, also con performer Tyler Huff. Called a gamer, a savvy quarterback. He was a difference maker last year. Furman's been good on offense. Those run the program set. He made them great on offense last year because of his ability to take over a ball game.
Yeah, whenever Coach described him as a gamer, I had to jot that down in my notes. I thought that was a perfect explanation of the young man. So we got a little something going on. Oh, new ball. Probably Kennesaw State football down there. Got to switch it out for a Furman football. But yeah, I thought that was a great explanation of the young man. He doesn't wow you whenever you look at his stats and everything, but they say the way he carries himself and the way that he just makes plays happen elevates them to the next level.
First play is a play action. He has time to throw. Now flushed out to the right side, pumps, and he's taken out of bounds. Carlos Allen chasing him down. Jordan Miles there as well. And that was something we were told in the preseason. They took away his best plays. They wanted him to be more of a downfield threat. He was looking for a home run ball, but it appeared that everyone was covered up.
Yeah, and I think that's what they mean also whenever they say a gamer. A lot of quarterbacks would just take a shot there. Instead, he does the headsy decision, tucks it, runs, no harm done. Just play another down.
Joshua Harris in line motion. Dominic Roberto takes the handoff, and he's knifed down. Garland Binyard forces a 3rd and long for Furman.
You know, that was a really nice tackle by Garland Binyard, but I would say it was caused by the entire Owls defensive line getting in there, getting great penetration, almost making the play, making him bounce it and making Roberto bounce it, and then allowing Garland to make that tackle in the backfield.
Kennesaw State defensive coordinator Nathan Burton said, we want to force some 3rd and longs. They don't have too many of them this season. Huff looks to convert it, has the completion, but he's short of the marker. Kendall Dean with a reception, but it's 4th down for Furman.
I'm surprised the coach isn't over there getting onto him really bad right now with that. He had the opportunity to kind of stick his foot in the ground, get north and south, and get that 1st down. Just kind of took the easy way out, stepped out of bounds. That's shocking, but I would tell you what, defensive coordinator Coach Burton's going to be happy with that. That's that same route that I saw them give up a lot of yards on last week and get just automatic 1st downs. It's that quick little out. But right there, you know, whenever you force them in 3rd and longs, you can give that up and still get them to a 4th down.
Punt by Ryan Levy is short. Squibbles to the Furman sideline, and Foster lets it roll. So Kennesaw State forces a 3 and out on Furman's opening possession, and now the Owls get a crack at it, looking to score points in the 1st quarter for the first time all season, Barkley.
Yeah, they have to start fast on offense, and just like we were talking about in the opener, starts with that offensive line. And then led by that man right there, Jonathan Murphy. He's the leader in the locker room according to the coaches. He's the leader in all the stats books. He's electric with the football in his hands on the ground, and he can pass. So love to see this man play, and excited to see what he does today.
Already 200 passing yards this season, or 400, excuse me, the most for any Owl in his first 2 games. Sweep to Gabe Binyard, the twin brother of Garland, who made the 2nd down tackle. A minimal gain and a flag down.
Another just electric player in Gabe Binyard. Last week, I feel like he was the Kennesaw State offense against UT Chattanooga.
Personal foul, illegal block below the waist, offense, number 0. 15-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Replay 1st down.
We'll get another look at it here. Michael Benefield called for the illegal block below the waist outside the tackle box. So that rule change killed Kennesaw State's option offense from last year. The Owls received that penalty 0 times last year. running the offense that penalty killed, and now they have switched offenses, and they're called on it here.
How ironic.
First and long for Kennesaw State. Murphy on a play action. Throws a low pass. Blake Bohannon, the intended receiver.
And right there, Murphy was just in a little bit of a rush, rolling out left, had plenty of time. Furman really didn't have any pressure on him. He needs to set his feet, flip his shoulders, get him vertical to the field, and complete that pass accurately. Whenever you continue to run and have your shoulders facing the sidelines, it's almost a 50-50 ball at that point, whether or not it's going to come out of your hand like you want it to.
Chris Klonakis, the OC, noted they were more efficient game one in the play-action pass, struggled with it last week. In that 27-20 loss to Chattanooga. On the ground here through the middle, tough sledding. That Furman rush defense, as we noted in the open, giving up less than 3 yards per carry over the last season plus. Limits the damage there for Gabe Benyard, and it's 3rd and long for the Kennesaw State offense.
And if Kennesaw State continues to have to go to the ground to pick up yards, we're going to hear that number a lot. Number 43, Braden Gilby, an All-American middle linebacker. I think I referred to him as a stud in the conference calls. I mean, he is – the guy plays really hard, and he's everywhere. He's a very sure tackler.
That's career tackle number 272. On 3rd and long, Murphy weaves through the middle, dances, and he's smacked hard shy the 25-yard line. So the Owls are unable to erase the blocking below the waist penalty. And we'll see the punt unit for both squads on the opening possession.
It doesn't matter what offense you run. If you get in a 1st and 20-plus situation, it just puts you in a really tough spot offensively. Limit your play calling, and then the defense is able to just kind of sit back and let everything play out in front of you, and you just make the tackles.
Joshua Hewitt on to punt. Rush comes for Furman. Another boot by Hewitt. Joshua Harris backtracks at the 25. Past the long snapper, and Eli Leatawa collects his 2nd tackle of the quarter. With that, we will step aside. Both defenses showing up strong here for Furman and Kennesaw State. Paladins back with the pigskin.
Welcome back to Kennesaw. Let's take a look at Miller's must keys of the game. For me, this is what the Paladins and the Owls need to do to win this football game. Got 2 checks already early. Get pressure on Tyler Huff. Kennesaw State's front 7 were able to do that early on and often, forcing a 3-and-out on the first drive, and then start fast on offense. Need to get that together. Then the Paladins need to establish a run game. Haven't been able to do that so far, and they need to get penetration on defense. Check for them. They were all over Murphy on the last drive.
On 1st down, toss to Dominic Roberto. Just 20 yards against the Gamecocks last week, and he only gets a yard there. Not going according to plan early on for the Furman rushing attack.
Yeah, not at all. The Paladins keep trying to get it on the ground. Roberto actually negative yards, -1 yards on 2 carries, and then Huff had to scramble out because the Owls were all over him on that passing attack, and he got no gain. They're doing a really good job of getting and playing in the backfield.
To their 2nd and 8. Blitz coming. Roberto takes the dive and crawls to the 40-yard line. Makes it a 3rd and about 3.
That's more of what they want to see up front. They did a really nice job of getting to the linebackers, and that's what the difference in the run game. When you're able to get your offensive lineman a hat on a linebacker and seal him off, it creates those creases for the running backs like Roberto to be able to squeeze through there and pick up nice yardage.
Furman missed on 3rd down in the opening drive. Shiflett in motion. Huff, pocket breaking down. So goes Tyler Huff. Carlos Allen in the Owl defense swarm Tyler Huff and drop him for a 3rd down sack.
And that is what we would call a man pass rush whenever I was playing at Kennesaw State. Carlos Allen, big on big, and he just wins right there coming off the edge. Did a really nice job of tracking the near hip. A lot of times quarterbacks will feel that pressure and spin out. Whenever you track that back hip on them, there's nowhere they can go. You put a helmet on it, bring them down. Very nice job.
Career sack number 4 for Allen. Puda Walker, the West Florida transfer, in there as well, and they almost get to this one. Benyard on the return, watches it bounce, picks it up at the 15, dances, and he's taken down at the 25.
Defensive slugfest to start it, Nolan. 3 and outs already in this ball game.
Much different start defensively for Kennesaw State than last week against Furman. You can say the same for the Paladin offense. They went up 7-0 on South Carolina last week at Williams-Brice Stadium. And now the Owl offense looks to pick up its first down. Binyard, the tailback here for Murphy. Preston Daniels, former two-back in the old offense, in motion. It's an option play. Murphy, keeper, puts his shoulder down, and he's down at the 31-yard line. Nice pickup on first down, second and medium.
Another thing that Kennesaw State head coach Brian Bohannon said in the call yesterday, Nolan, that stood out to me. He said if Jonathan Murphy has to carry the ball 30 to 40 times this game for them to win, that's just what they're going to have to do. They know that he is the most dynamic player on their offense, and they want the football in his hand.
He has the single-game record. He toted the rock 39 times at Jacksonville State last year. Second and short. Play fake. Murphy fires, and that's caught for a first down. Isaac Foster with the grab.
I love to see that play call early because Coach Klenak has actually walked through that with me in the call. That is Jonathan Murphy reading the outside linebacker, 43. Saw him commit to the run, pulls it out of the running back's belly, bang, hits that slant right there on the numbers. Really nice execution on that RPO.
Isaac Foster surpasses Darnell Howland, who was in attendance today for 4th and career receiving yards. Early movement.
And that's not what you want to see as the offensive coordinator, Coach Klenak, is whenever you're playing behind the sticks. I know it's just 5 yards, but 5 more yards can really be tough for you. This offensive line, that's just being locked in and focused, knowing the snap count. As you saw, he just tried to get a little bit of a head start in front of that Furman defensive line.
And that's Al Hogan. He knows Furman well. A transfer from Wofford College. Part of that big Palmetto State rivalry. First and long for Kennesaw State. It's a handoff to the left side of the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard there. Whole host of white hats limiting the rush of Michael Benefield.
Yeah, right there is exactly what Furman wants to do. They want to get that penetration. As soon as Murphy handed it off to Benefield, there was 3 Paladins that had their offensive linemen just pushed about 3 steps back in that backfield. As a running back, it's really hard when they're in your lap because you can't really bounce it out or find a seam to get some yards.
Three receivers to the wide side of the formation. Murphy fires, and Foster scoops it up at the 46-yard line. Second catch for Foster of the drive.
What a catch by Isaac Foster, going downtown and hauling that one up. It's a really athletic play. I like to see them getting him involved early. That's a guy also that Klenak has talked about in the pregame conference call. He said that they needed to get him involved more. So far this season, he hasn't seen many touches. Historically, he has.
Over 600 career receiving yards, catch number 6 of the year. 3rd and 8 for KSU. Trying to keep its second drive of the ball game alive. Murphy on a pass play. Deep pass for Foster, and it's dropped at the 40-yard line. Cam Brinson doesn't drop too many. That one is in and out of his mitts.
Yeah, that's one that's going to haunt him in his dreams, Nolan. Another one of those preseason all-SoCon selections that I was talking about earlier. Don't see the Paladins as a whole drop many of those. Really nice pressure right there for Murphy. Actually, a quarterback hit credited to number 7, Matt Scova. I'm sure that affected the throw for Murphy, but man, right in his mitts and just can't haul it in.
Cloudburster by Hewitt. And it rolls in the end zone for a touchback. More of a defensive battle here continues in the first quarter. Furman takes possession of the football following this timeout. 7th season leading his alma mater. He's only coached at technically 3 places. He says 2. Played at Furman, was a GA under the late Dick Sheridan at NC State for a couple of years. Coached at Furman from 88 up until 2006. Went to Air Force, came back to lead Furman. He's taken him to 3 FCS playoff appearances. And he's assimilated now, Barkley, what is arguably the deepest, the most veteran team in school history. Huff on a pass. Swings it out to the flats. And a good gain on first down. It goes for a first down on the swing pass to Jaquan Smith.
There we see Furman's first down of of the evening. And back to Hendricks, I love that about college football. That's what makes college football so special to me. You get these coaches that really just bleed purple and white like he does for Furman. Played there, coached other places, but came back home.
Quick pass by Huff to Shiflett, sheds a tackle. And then Markeith Montgomery brings down the Furman receiver. Another first down for the Paladins.
Back-to-back, Furman finally kind of getting that train chugging, and they're going back to what we saw Chattanooga attack this defense with multiple times last week. Just those nice little intermediate routes, get it out of your quarterback's hand quickly, kind of take away that Kennesaw State front seven, which is the best part of their defense.
Best drive of the afternoon so far for Furman. Handoff to Smith, searches his way along the right side of the line, gets just a yard of the play.
It has been tough sledding inside the trenches for Furman all night. They do have that big physical offensive line that, in my opinion, did a really good job last week against South Carolina. They are struggling against these Owls to get a run game started.
They looked the part against the Gamecocks. You turned on the film, you didn't see big of a difference there size-wise. Smith takes the handoff, stutter-stepped, and he's dropped in the backfield. Adam Watkins clogged up that right side of the line, limited the hole, and then Charles Remy took down the ball carrier, and it makes it a third down.
Man, you know, this has just been teach tape for that front seven from the Owls against the run game. They've been clogging up holes, taking the offensive linemen, shoving them in the backfield, creating zero creases for these Paladin running backs to find anywhere to go. And this is exactly where the defensive coordinator, Coach Burton, wants the Paladins to be, 3rd and long.
3rd and 8 for Furman. Late blitz coming. Huff, deep pass, right sideline overthrown, and the formula continues to work for Nathan Burton's defense. Another 3rd and long situation that Furman is unable to gain the first.
And what I really liked from that drive there, Nolan, Furman takes a deep shot. I really like that call, actually, from Coach Roper. You try to hit them deep. You were hitting them with those intermediate routes, and that's what they got burned on all week last week. Chance Gamble did a really nice job in man coverage, jamming up the wide receiver and not allowing him to get off the ball, and that just really throws off the timing between the quarterback and the receiver to make him overthrow it a little bit.
Levy, lots of hang time. Foster waits for the fair catch and takes it just outside the 10-yard line. KSU with a chance now to take the first lead of the afternoon. Owls have the football following this break from Fifth Third Bank Stadium. Doggy Field here in Kennesaw, Georgia. Furman and Kennesaw State, no score here in the first quarter. We haven't seen any turnovers so far, but these two teams, this was their claim to fame in 2022.
Yeah, it sure was, led by Coach Vaughn over there on the defensive side. He said that he preaches it. Every day they work it. They work a turnover circuit in their practice, and they're just always in film trying to coach up, getting the hands in there, ripping the ball out, and then trying to attack and jump routes in the passing game.
You talked about Clay Hendricks being unique in college football. Dwayne Vaughn, they call it the Chick-fil-A model. He's done everything. Started out low in the totem pole on the offensive side of the ball, but he has worked his way up from one of the lowest positions at GA to now defensive coordinator, all at Furman. 1st and 10 KSU, play fake, Foster his 3rd catch. Turns up field, and Foster picks up a first down out to the Owls' 25-yard line.
I really like that play call from Kanakis here early. They've been trying to establish the runs on early downs. You see 1st, 2nd down, it's almost automatic. They're either running that read option or the RPO and just handing it off to Benefield. And right there, I like it, you know, a little play action, dump it out in the flats where nobody is, get some nice yardage early.
Enter this year averaging 9 yards per play. Murphy on the quarterback keeper to the right side. And he's tripped up out of bounds near the 35.
These teams are almost mirroring each other, Nolan. Both having trouble getting the offense started, but then come out and bang, 2 nice plays back-to-back. We saw it from Furman on the last drive and sputtered out. See it here from Kennesaw State. I like to see them just kind of put it together right here, maybe go to the ground in between the tackles, pick up a cheap first down, and keep that train rolling.
See youngster Ethan Newman in at right guard for Kennesaw State. Had some injuries. Nathan Wright out today at tackle. And the Owls do go up the middle, and they pick up a first down, Mr. Miller.
I mean, I've seen a lot of football Monday. Okay, that's what I would do if I was offensive coordinator. And you know, Nolan, that's how you really create confidence with that offensive line that they said they really challenged this week. You sit there and you're like, you know, you got that first down because of you guys against this nasty front seven that Furman has, big and physical. I know it's only 3 yards, but 3 yards is an accomplishment against these guys.
Brian Bohannon said this week, Kennesaw State needs some confidence. They need to find a way to gain an edge. Positive attitude, just need to play with an edge. Murphy, Foster, oh, a bit too far. He had him behind the Paladin defense. That would have been an edge play for KSU.
And you know how these guys like each other. That would have been a huge play. And the first thing you see is Foster get up, look at Murphy, point at me. He said, that's me. And then I really love this. That's just great awareness for Murphy. He had the option to either tuck it and run it. Saw the Paladins charging the line of scrimmage because they haven't done anything like this yet this year. Pull it up, just put a little bit more air under it and let Foster run over it. We might be hearing the fight song right now.
Alexander Diggs checks in at tailback. Binyard at receiver in motion. Takes the jet sweep, turns upfield, and Binyard weaves his way to about the 43. 3rd and 4, so upcoming for KSU.
Talk about making nothing out of nothing right there. Nice job by Binyard getting the edge. And 3 for Furman. Cam Brinson set the edge, and he was able to put his left foot in the ground, cut it back, and just find enough room to get them in a more third and manageable position. I know the ball's going to be in Murphy's hand here. I'll look for them to go to the air, see if they can pick it up in a medium range pass.
Looking for our first 3rd down conversion so far. 3 receivers and a tight end in the formation for Kennesaw State. Murphy gives to Diggs, stood up, second effort, won't get there. Furman buries him 2 yards short of the marker.
That was a really physical run from Diggs there, but that just shows how big and physical Furman is up front. I know that's something I've hit on pretty consistently, but you look at those guys there, that's a lot of guy right there. All of them standing over 6 foot tall and 250 plus pounds.
4th and a yard offense on the field for Kennesaw State.
I like it. Coach Bohannon said they need to be aggressive to come away with this win today. It's a very good step in the right direction. Your defense is playing very well, and you've given them a nice break, picking up 2 first downs so far. I really like this call.
5 seconds to get it off. Al's going for it on 4th down. Murphy throws too high. Furman holds defensively on 4th down. And the Paladins will have their best starting field position of the quarter.
High throw from Murphy, but you got to give credit to Cam Brinson as well. Coming up, making a play. May have gotten there a step early, but he has a right to the football as well. Not allowing the Owl to get up in the air and maybe make a circus catch.
So Furman has its 3rd 4th down stop of the season. And now can the Paladins capitalize here? Kendall Thomas, the tailback. Have not seen Dominic Roberto now the last 2 drives. Play fake. Huff dumps it off. It's caught by Hinton. And he's down just across the 40-yard line.
And there, you just got to look to your guy, number 31, Isaac Paul, was in coverage for Kennesaw State. He just has to make that play.
Hinton back-to-back catches. So he picks up a first down inside the 30.
Yeah, Kennesaw State in cover 2 right there. Just trying to get their linebackers in the box still. You don't want to bail them out because you got hurt so much last week in that intermediate passing game. They're trying to give them opportunities to make the play, but that was just a really nice read and throw from Huff.
First down near the red zone. Huff on the rollout, being chased by Johnson, throws out of bounds.
A little surprised they had to clarify that. I thought that was pretty, just keep it moving, line back up, run the next play.
Look, I always take clarification for the men in stripes.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. Just that was a shocking one to me. But, man, big. That was a nice play there from Kennesaw State. There was nobody open. Huff had to get rid of it or he was going to take a sack.
Shiflin and Joshua Harris, the receivers, towards the bottom of your screen. Handoff, Thomas, and a nice tackle. Out on the perimeter by Kennesaw State's linebacker, Barrett Hobson, the Jackson State transfer.
And again, this front 7 from Kennesaw State continues to just play physical. They're playing just like how I thought we would see this Furman defense play, which they have so far. But, man, getting up, charging the line of scrimmage, and getting off blocks and making tackles. It's been really fun to watch if you like defense.
Furman snaps it, but right after the horn blows. Excitement picking up between Furman and Kennesaw State as the first quarter comes to a close. Paladins will have a key third down at the KSU 28 when we come back to start the second quarter from KSU. Named to the Walter Payton Award watch list, we have not seen him in the last 2 drives. For an update, we send it down to Lauren Hoffman.
Yeah, Nolan, when I came over to the Furman sideline, he was inside the injury tent getting his right ankle taped up. Now, both of his ankles are taped up, but he's been spending a lot of time running back and forth, practicing cuts, doing some footwork, and he spent some time on the air bike, but he's been all smiles. He just doesn't have his helmet on.
3rd and long for the Paladins. Huff dumps it off, and it's knocked loose, incomplete. Jericho Washington, the true freshman, jars it loose, and it's 4th down.
What a play from the young man. We saw him make 2 turnovers in the first game. It looks like we got a little laundry on the field, Nolan. Again, Jericho just seems to be a ball hawk. 2 turnovers in the first game. Really nice play on the ball there. He didn't necessarily get there and make a physical play on the receiver. Just got his hands in there and knocked it away.
45-yard field goal attempt for Ian Williams. His season-long 32 in the lid lifter against Tennessee Tech. Hold is down. The kick has the distance. And it is no good. Pushes it. And Kennesaw State holds defensively. Brian Bohannon elated with the work of his Owls on the defensive end. And with that, Kennesaw State will regroup. Owls get the ball back on offense following the missed field goal from Furman's Ian Williams, just off the mark.
Hey, Coach Bohannon hit on, he wanted to take a different approach this week with the guys. Like you said, challenge them on both sides of the football, but he said he wasn't as intense. Say he wanted to be a little bit more laid back, let the guys kind of do it themselves, and defensively, it's definitely paid off. Now the offense just needs to pick it up, string together a few first downs, and maybe get into field goal range.
So Murphy and the Owls take possession here. Missed on 4th down in their last drive. It's an option play. On the pitch, Michael Benefield with a burst, and he gains a 1st down.
And that is picture perfect from Jonathan Murphy there, holding the ball as long as you can until you make the Paladin defense make a commitment, whether it's going to be you or whether he's going to go to your running back. And as soon as he makes that commitment, get the ball in the air, get it to his hands, and allow him to explode upfield for a nice gain.
Longest rush of the season for Benefield, a former Golden Lion out of St. Pius X High School in Atlanta. Seth Adams, the tight end, in motion. Murphy, quarterback keeper, turns upfield, and he's slung down into his own 46.
And there again, we see a different evolution of the RPO. Instead of Murphy having the option whether he wants to give it or dump it off on a slant, there it's a designed rollout for Murphy, and he can decide whether he wants to tuck it and run as he did there, or he can pull up and see if one of his receivers are open and dump it off to him, similar to what we saw him miss with Isaac Foster on earlier in the game.
Foster, Binyard, Bohannon, the receivers. Play fake. Murphy being chased, throws, Bohannon's wide open, and he hauls it in near the Furman 30.
And that's why they love the athleticism of Jonathan Murphy. Play breaks down, nobody's open, your pockets collapse, and he's able to get out wide enough. And then Blake Bohannon does a good job of finding room. That's what they preach him in the wide receiver room. Whenever there's nothing there, you just find open space, and you're able to get your quarterback to dump it off to you for a huge 1st down.
Son of the head coach, Brian Bohannon, has catch number 3 of the season. Owl offense moving here, trying to take the lead. Murphy, play fake. Binyard is wide open. Catches it at the 12. Binyard eyes the pylon, and he scoots in. Touchdown, Kennesaw State.
I have to quote the great Deion Sanders with this one, Nolan. When you see the empty hand, start the band. Saw the empty hand on that play action from Murphy. The defense sold out, rushed into the line of scrimmage because they've been trying to run the ball all day. Huge touchdown on the backside. Right, like I said, open hand right there, play the band, wide open. Big touchdown for the Owls.
So back-to-back weeks, Murphy and Binyard hook up for 6. 6th receiving score of the career for Gabe Binyard. Connor Cummins on for the PAT. It is 7-0 Kennesaw State here in the second quarter. Talk about trying to build confidence. The Owls do that, hold defensively with a missed field goal, and then Murphy, a masterpiece. Binyard wide open. He finishes the job, and the Owls up 7-0 here at home. Gabe Binyard coming into his own his junior year at Kennesaw State last week against Chattanooga, a career high with 123 receiving yards. He takes a deep pass from Jonathan Murphy to put the Owls up 7-0 over Furman. For more on Binyard, we turn it over to Lauren.
Exactly, Nolan. Binyard helping the Owls get on the board first and continuing that great momentum from last week into this evening. Coach Bohannon told me yesterday that he had a heck of a game at Chattanooga. They always knew Gabe was a talented player. He can do a lot of things. They did a really good job of putting it in position to make plays. They like to manipulate things around to give guys the ball to help us win. He also added that he was able to learn and do everything at multiple positions, which is a tribute to his football IQ.
Last week for Binyard, that was game 1. He did not play in the opener against Tusculum. Kennesaw State this year in year 1 of 2 of the FCS to FBS transition, so the Owls are playing a puzzling redshirt game, trying to move some pieces around. Binyard, plan is to be redshirted this year, missed game 1, so they say you make the biggest jump in game 1 to game 2. If that's Binyard's game 1, his stat line here today might tear up the printer behind us.
You're exactly right. It could be huge, but not just for him. You look at the other guys that missed week 1, and, you know, I don't want to say struggle, but just looked a little off week 2 against Chattanooga. It seems like that jump has been made, and they've really solidified it, especially on the defensive side of the ball so far.
I was going to say, so many defensive starters made their season debut last week. Huff on the quarterback keeper through the middle. Takes a trio of Owls with him to the 33-yard line.
And that's what Huff is good at. Whenever you say a gamer, to me, it reminds me of Tim Tebow whenever he was at Florida, just kind of creating plays. Didn't look like much was there. Huff, what does he do? He tucks the ball, puts his shoulder down, gets some nice yards.
Second and short, sets up the screen. It's caught by Dean, and he's sandwiched down but picks up a first down across the 35.
And there we see this game of chess starting to develop between Coach Roper and Coach Burton. Coach Burton's been super aggressive defensively, sending a lot of pressure, really attacking that line of scrimmage. So Coach Roper right there, nice little tunnel screen. That will hold up the pass rush because you can't just charge at the quarterback. It leaves a huge field open for you to make a nice play like that one.
This was more of Furman's offense in 2022. Huff runs, quick passing game, not much going on the running game. Take your pick of Owls, stopping the dive play.
All 11 seem to be in on that one, even the backside corner coming in. And that's what happens when we play hard. And when we play hard, good things happen. Turnovers happen, negative plays happen, and, man, it has been tough sledding up front for that Furman offensive line.
11 carries for 12 yards for Furman rushing today. On 2nd and 9, blitz coming against Huff. He dumps it off, and it's dropped in and out of the hands of Kendall Dean, who just had a first down grab a couple of plays ago.
And Kendall Dean is someone that got highlighted the other day in the coach's call. They said that he's probably one of their most dynamic and explosive receivers. Had a huge game the first week against Tennessee Tech. That's just lapse of concentration. That was right in his hands. You got to see it all the way through. It's almost like he was thinking about what he was going to do after he caught the ball.
Paladins need some momentum and look for their first down conversion. On 3rd and long, delayed blitz on a screen, a good call here. Dominic Roberto back in action, lowers the shoulder, and the spot looks to be good enough for a 1st and 10.
You know the coaching staff is happy to see that young man back. A little something about him that was interesting to me, Nolan, is they talked about Roberto. First off, this play call right here is fantastic. Kennesaw State going aggressive, bringing the blitz, gets a big hit on Huff, gets it off just in time on that running back screen right behind him. But back to Roberto. They said a very rare thing happened to him. He got the starting role, didn't play as hard as they'd like, lost it, and then fought his way all the way back to being the starter again.
Yeah, he's coming back after being banged up early. Pump fake by Huff. Still serving, and now Huff takes off and crosses midfield.
Gamer, man. It's like he's back there just playing backyard football, making it up as he goes. It's so fun to watch college players like that. Baker, like I said, Tim Tebow, Baker Mayfield, those are the guys that come to mind. And, you know, nothing open downfield. You just kind of keep the play running, and you're also wearing out that defense because they're having to run around the entire time, keep everyone in coverage, and that defensive line's chasing you around, and you still pick up 5 yards.
2nd down and 7 after the 3-yard scamper by Huff. Screen pass. Ben Ferguson, the birthday boy, with the catch. And DeAndre Morris isn't invited to the postgame party. Ferguson turning 20 years old today. Benedict Lewis Ferguson said he had the best offseason with Huff, but DeAndre Morris snuffed that one out.
Again, another 3rd and long for Furman. It seems like it's been the tail of the tape all day. They've struggled to kind of capitalize on those 1st and 2nd downs. Free play here.
Huff knows it, delivers a deep pass, open man, and a sliding grab inside the 25-yard line. Ethan Harris with the catch.
All sides. Defense, number 97. That penalty is declined. Result of the play is a 1st down.
Longest play of the afternoon for Furman as the Paladins pick up 27 through the air from Huff to Harris.
And their first third down conversion of the night. 2nd third down conversion on the night as well, Nolan.
Redshirted last year. Had a couple receptions in 2022, a transfer from Air Force Prep Academy. And he puts the Paladins now at the front door of the Owls red zone. On 1st down, Roberto takes the handoff. Puda Walker holds him up for a gain of a couple.
Again, just tough sledding up front, and it's not like it's the linebackers that are cutting in and making these plays, Nolan. It's the defensive line. They're getting right through that Paladin offensive line and just wreaking havoc in the backfield. I feel like that the entire Furman offensive line is playing on their heels and just getting pushed back about a foot or two as soon as the ball is snapped.
Joel Parker, starting defensive end from last week, out today. Tyler Scott, the backup nose guard, out as well. 2nd and long. Pass completion to the tight end Mason Pline. Former national champion Ferris State makes it 3rd and short.
Talk about a size differential there. That's somebody I want to see them get more involved in this passing game. 6'7", 260. I mean, just a mismatch for any linebacker you have on the field at 6'7", 260. Former basketball player we were talking about before the broadcast, you know. There's a bunch of them. Antonio Gates, Jimmy Graham, greats. You get to throw them that jump ball in the end zone, makes them dangerous.
Now the Paladins look for their third down conversion of the drive. This is a 3rd and short. Huff fakes the handoff. Huff takes off, squeezes his way. That extra effort, we'll see the spot. It looks to be good enough for a 1st down.
Again, love to see guys like that play. Gamer putting his body on the line, didn't care whether or not he was going to get hit because he knew he was going to take a lick there. Bounces right off of it and sticks the ball out just enough for that 1st down.
Carlos Allen, the defensive lineman, is injured for Kennesaw State. Here's a replay.
It'd be a huge loss if they lose Carlos Allen. Just got faked out a little bit right there. That's just effort right there. Pure effort.
Furman picks up the 1st down, continues its drive following this timeout from the bank. Paladins down the field here with a 1st attempt at the KSU 13-yard line. He's a transfer from Furman. He played under Tommy Spangler, who's now on staff with the Paladins, coaching safeties and special teams. Spangler said he's a quarterback that plays with a linebacker's mentality. We just saw that, Barkley, in that last 3rd down conversion.
We sure did. Just toughness and effort. Putting it in right there, putting his shoulder down, knew he had to get that 1st down. Nolan, it feels like this entire drive has just been driven by Huff, putting the team on his back.
Furman 8 for 9 in the red zone this season. Hinton takes the little toss and scoots upfield inside the 10. And there is a flag down behind the play.
Holding. Offense, number 2. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay 1st down.
That's on the wideout out of Newton, Georgia, Joshua Harris.
That's really big. You know, the Paladins have strung together multiple 1st downs and just kind of had the momentum leaning their way on this drive. A penalty like that sets you back. You're in the red zone. You're still in the red zone. Actually, no, you're just out of the red zone now. That really puts a damper on this drive. It's going to fall on Huff's shoulders, kind of work them back in positive field position.
Ball at the 23. Roberto in the backfield after being banged up on the opening series. Fake the handoff. Huff throws. It's caught inside the 5, and Harris is slammed by Morris, but he makes up for the penalty.
And Huff does a really nice job of working their way out of bad field position. As you said, maybe Harris is more of a pass catcher and a blocker, but really nice ball there from Huff, a little bit behind him. Harris does a nice job of maneuvering his body around to be able to make that grab and come down with it. Huge gain.
Second and short. Just 2 to go for the Paladins as they shift the tight ends. Handoff. Roberto along the left side is pushed back. Forward progress gets him to the 5, where he's a yard short.
If it wasn't for Huff's scrambles here and there, this Paladin running game has really just struggled to take off. And even then, it's not like Huff has just ran wild. He has a long of 8. And Roberto, 4 attempts, 8 yards, 2 for 2 for Smith, and then Thomas, 2 for 1 yards. It's been tough sledding up front.
All 3 of those conversions you see on your screen have come on this drive. Roberto takes the handoff, and he's got a 1st and goal to go.
Now that's some effort from Roberto right there. Nothing going. He had no push from his offensive line. It was jammed up there. He just put his shoulder down, churned those legs, and picked up as many as he could. Big 1st down.
This is an old school drive by the Paladins, Barkley.
It's been an old school football game, Nolan.
Shiflett motions across the formation. Huff on the option, lowers the shoulder and powers his way for a Furman touchdown.
Again, we see that linebacker mentality from Huff. Doesn't see anything there. He wasn't about to pitch that ball. I don't think he cared whether it was open or not. He was tucking it, putting his shoulder down, and getting that touchdown. He's the man right there that just carried that Paladin offense through that entire drive, Nolan.
75-yard drive capped off by the Huff rushing score. Tore his ACL at Presbyterian, plays with no fear. She lowers the white lid. And now at the extra point, this game is tied at 7 with under 6 minutes to go in the second quarter. So Kennesaw State and Furman trade back-to-back blows. The Paladins pick up 4 third-down conversions on the drive. Tyler Huff runs over the Al defense, and we're tied up at 7. From 7-0. Had a 4-play, 72-yard drive. What did the Paladins do? They pick up 4 third downs in the midst of a 15-play, 75-yard drive that encapsulates almost half of the second quarter.
Yeah, that's a grown man drive right there, especially on the road in a tough environment like here at Kennesaw State. And it's all thanks to their quarterback, Huff. The coaches said it. They've been good. He has made them great. And that is the difference between a good team and a great team, being able to string together a drive like that when you need it. Down 7-0, you know, kind of getting a little bit late in the second quarter. Big time drive from the Paladins.
Williams to kick it off for Furman. And Foster finally takes the knee for the touchback. I think what's else is unique too, Barkley. Transfers from Presbyterian, a team that used to be in the Big South Conference with Kennesaw State, bumped down to the PFL non-scholarship football. And it's Huff who comes in, who lights up the Southern Conference last year. And as Furman ranked in the top 10, hopes of going to Frisco in January here in 2023.
It is funny, and it shows you how finicky recruiting is, right? That's a guy that they probably were like, can't play at this kind of level, goes to Presby, has some good seasons under his belt. And as you said, a coach from Presbyterian comes over to Furman and is like, we got to get this guy on the roster here.
Foster on the jet sweep. Talk about being lightly recruited. Foster wasn't offered until the wee hours before National Signing Day. So he takes the handoff, his first carry of the year, and runs it out just short of the 30.
I'll never forget whenever Isaac signed. You know, I was on the team at the time, and he was the only person on signing day. They made, you know, the special post on Twitter and everything. It was just his headshot. No jersey, no nothing, because as you said, I believe it was Coach Klein that called him about 4 a.m. telling him we were going to offer him a scholarship.
In his last year as a super senior, all Owl fans will remember number 12 in gold. Pump fake. Murphy throws it incomplete. Avoided the sack with a pump fake, but Furman holds and brings up a third down.
Yeah, that was a nice job
There's no
avoiding.
foul for intentional grounding. Receiver number 5 was in the area. Third down.
That was a nice job avoiding the sack, but I know that's where kind of the mix-up of the RPO can get you, because right there we saw Blake Bohannon, who was in the area, not turned around looking for a pass. He was actually trying to lay a block, thinking that probably Murphy was going to tuck it and try to run that football.
Foster, Finer, Bohannon, the receivers. On the left of the formation. Set up a screen to Binyard, and he's tripped up. Travis Blackshear, the cornerback, all SoCon performer, brings down Binyard and calls on the punt unit.
Been waiting for him to make a big play all day, and that's what he does right there, steps up. But I want to note, too, again, that chess match between offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator Klanakis. This Furman defense has been going aggressive all night long, bringing blitzes, running stunts up front. So what do? Again, you throw a little screen pass. Worked for Furman on the last drive. Bang, Coach Vaughn from Furman plays cover 2, sits everybody back, doesn't send a soul, tears up that screen.
High bounce on the Hewitt punt. And Kennesaw State downs it at the 30-yard line. So Furman just had that extremely long drive, 15 plays, 75 yards, over 7 minutes of clock time. Now gets the football back here with 4:25 to go. Paladins have a chance here to run a 4-minute offense, take possession at their own 31.
They do, and it's a tall task for this Kennesaw State defense who was out there for that entire last drive. Not much of a break from their offense either. Quick 3 and out back on the field. This is really where it tests you. You see how much you can bow your net, get out there and make some plays. And Furman, I'd give the advantage to them. Offense, it's a lot easier if you're just back out there quickly, just, continuing the momentum on this drive.
Carlos Allen, who was shaken up in the previous drive in the red zone, is back in 92. You see the white towel as he lines up over the right guard. And it appears to be an issue with the chain gang on the Furman sideline towards the top of your screen.
I'm glad you picked that up, Nolan. I was looking all across the field. I was like, what's going on? Fan on the field? What do we got going on? No, just the chain gang, a little tied up.
On first down, play fake. Huff dumps it off. Hinton with the grab, a first down, and he's ushered out of bounds near the 45.
And there again, we see Furman going to what they've been successful with, that medium passing game. You get a guy open in the medium route at Kennesaw State. They need to get aggressive, try to get a negative play here or even a turnover.
12 yards on first down. Huff, quick pass. Harris with the catch, his second of the day. That's Ethan Harris, the redshirt freshman out of Raleigh.
And the bandit, Charles Remy, was actually kind of walking out there trying to cover the flats, didn't get out there early enough. I guess that's probably their counter to that quick out that we've seen today so far. If I was Coach Burton on the defense, I'd bring a safety, maybe bring Markeith Montgomery, who's hit home a few times already this season, try to get a sack.
4-yard gain in the air. It's second down and 6. Handoff. Roberto surges ahead. Tough to bring down. Roberto powers his way to the 40 of KSU as he points for a first down.
And there again, just a physical run from Roberto. Hasn't really hit on anything all day, and just keep going at it, keep giving it to your guy. Walter Payton Award preseason watch list guy. He's going to hit on one eventually.
On first down, quick catch. Harris turns upfield. And as a first down for the Paladins, Furman getting hot offensively in the second quarter.
They sure are. Kennesaw State needs to make a play, whether it's a negative play or a turnover here to kind of slow Furman down. But, man, just talk about differences of the drives. Here, hitting quickly. It's not as slow and methodic as we saw on the last drive.
Huff appearing automatic through the air. Quarterback power through the middle. Huff inside the 20. Huff in a foot race, and he wins it as he taunts Montgomery for a touchdown. Tyler Huff, 28 yards, puts the Paladins on top late in the second quarter.
Again, just a gamer from Huff. I mean, that looked like a quarterback power right there. Gets the ball snapped, has Roberto as his lead blocker, and, man, he looks like a linebacker running down the field. outrunning Markeith Montgomery there, man, taunting him into the end zone. Got a little swagger about him.
PAT is true. 14 unanswered for Furman as the Paladins go on top with 2:37 left in the second quarter. Second rushing score for Huff this afternoon.
And now the script kind of flips a little bit, Nolan. It's a tall task for Kennesaw State with Furman going back-to-back, answering and then one-upping them. Kennesaw State's offense needs to get out there and try to get something going, at least work on some first downs to keep your defense on the field. But again, what a masterful performance we've seen from Huff today. Just tough as nails, and then also, as you said, automatic through the pass game. 4 of 18 for 137 yards. He hasn't really hit on anything deep, but he hasn't had to. He's taken what the defense has given him, played really smart football. That's the signs of a leader.
So that drive, 5 plays, 69 yards, and a minute 48 off the clock. So Williams with another kickoff for Furman. Shorter, Foster returns this one across the 15, and Foster down shy of the 25.
Heard the crowd get a little bit excited there. Sounds like they thought maybe Foster had a little bit more of a crease to run with there. Just collapsed really. Furman did a really nice job of collapsing that crease, not letting it stay open too long.
So the two playmakers offensively today have been that man on your screen, 12 Isaac Foster, and then 1 Gabe Binyard with the receiving touchdown. Did the Owls go back to try to get them involved here in this drive? Looking to tie it up going into halftime, owning all 3 timeouts.
I think you have to.
Binyard flexed out as receiver. Alexander Diggs, the tailback. Murphy, play fake, throws in tight coverage, incomplete. Binyard, the intended target. Blackshear, the corner, who just had the third down tackle in tight coverage.
Surprised Murphy decided to go there with the football. Had a wide receiver, I don't want to say wide open, but had a step on his defender running across the middle on a crossing route. But, yeah, I wouldn't want to throw at Blackshear at all. Guy is absolutely automatic on defense. He's all over the place. Hands on the wide receivers consistently.
10 career interceptions for Blackshear as he makes his 42nd start this afternoon. Murphy throws incomplete. Off the hands of Foster, 3rd and 10.
Just got that a little hot in there, a little too hot for Foster to handle. And maybe if that was in between his numbers, he can come down with it. But I like Kennesaw State going to the pass game here because it's taking the pressure off of that offensive line. They've had a tall task today of defending Murphy from that Furman front 7, especially in the run game, trying to get anything going. So I look for them to continue that. They've been successful with it, just need to complete the passes.
Owls haven't converted on 3rd down so far. This is a 3rd and 10. Handoff through the middle. Diggs is still alive. Diggs across the 40. Chris Klenakis said no one has improved more from week 1 to week 3 than Alexander Diggs, the walk-on from Brookwood High School. And he picks up the first 3rd down conversion for Kennesaw State of the ballgame.
And I really like how he used center James Dawson there, who kind of blocked 2 people at once. He did a nice job of staying behind him and kind of acting like he was going to go right, putting his foot in the ground, going all the way back left, making the Furman defense over-pursue and giving him enough room to pick up a nice gain.
Sarod Cook, a graduate out of Winston-Salem, banged up on the play. For more on the Kennesaw State running back Alexander Diggs, here's Lauren Hoffman.
Yeah, Nolan, you mentioned it. Chris Klenakis gave him a lot of praise this week, saying he has been the most improved player from week 1 to here in week 3. He said he missed some time during fall camp, which was valuable time, but now that he's back on the field, he's been great. Klenakis is really impressed with his blocking specifically, ability to pick up pressure, and his blitz protection.
Thank you very much, Lauren, as Cook is helped off by the training staff. He's able to get more time at running back because of the positional versatility of Gabe Binyard. He's been out at receiver in the past couple of plays. Binyard's seen time at tailback behind Murphy, over at receiver, and Diggs has had an opportunity against UTC, made the most of it, and now picks up the first down.
Yeah, and going to Binyard as well, as you said, I like him personally more as a receiver. I think is a little bit more dynamic out there. But whenever he's so talented at running back, it's hard to pick between the two. So then you just do like you do here. You have them both in the backfield.
Play call on first down is a pass play. Dump it off to Binyard. Stutters at the 45. Binyard tries to fight out of bounds. It was stripped loose out of bounds. So clock pauses here. Or we'll continue to run. I guess they rule them inbounds.
And even more so, you have them both back there, and then you throw it to Binyard in the flats. I'm sure Coach Bohannon's trying to make his case for the clock stoppage. I don't really know why it was running either, Nolan. Even if he fumbled it and the ball bounced out of bounds.
Please reset the game clock to 1 minute, 47 seconds.
So the clock does stop now with Binyard going out of bounds on a 3-yard pickup, 2nd down and 7. KSU with all 3 timeouts. Furman with 14 straight unanswered points on a couple of quarterback Huff rushing touchdowns. Binyard motions to the right of the formation. Foster, Bohannon, the other receivers. Murphy with a pocket, surveys, throws, Blackshear dropped it. Second potential pick dropped by the Paladins. That would have been the career interception number 11 for Travis Blackshear to St. Benedict in Savannah.
It must just be a little humid out there and making those gloves a little sticky, because this turnover-prone Paladin defense, too, right there in their corner's hands. We saw it earlier with Cam Brinson, and now the All-American Blackshear just in and out of his hands.
3rd and 7.
Waving his hand saying, that's on me, guys. He needs to come down with that one.
Trips on the left hash. Furman brings a blitz. Murphy throws in a tight window, and it's incomplete. Braden Gilby, the linebacker, narrowing that window. Callie Chiswick, the son of former Auburn coach, UNC defensive coordinator Gene Chiswick, in coverage. And Kennesaw State will punt on 4th down.
I know that that's not the drive that Kennesaw State wanted. They wanted points on the board, but something you did do there, you kept your defense off the field long enough for them to recover. I feel like you can kind of see it on the last drive whenever Furman came out there.
Late miscommunication of the Furman defense, had an uncovered man at the top of the screen. Punt by Hewitt. Swirling, fair catch wave for by Harris, and reels it in just outside the 10. 89 seconds remaining here in the second quarter, Barkley.
And again, like I was saying, I feel like you could kind of see it, that Kennesaw State defense just looked a step slow because they were out there for such a long drive before, and that allowed Furman to have the advantage, especially speed-wise, as you saw Huff break off that long run for a touchdown. Now that they're rested up a little bit, it's going to be a little bit harder for this offense, but it's fun. We get to see this Furman 2-minute offense as well. I assume the play calling is going to be a little bit different than whenever they had a little over 4 minutes left on the board.
Only 4 incompletions for Tyler Huff. 14 of 18, as you can see today. Couple of rushing touchdowns on 7 totes. Pline, the tight end, motions to the right. Huff on a swing pass. Thomas is tripped up. Chance Gamble, the cornerback, was called for targeting last week at Chattanooga. Won the appeal against the NCAA. Gets the start today, a 1-yard gain through the air. On 2nd and 9, Huff, another completion. Harris takes it out of bounds. The clock stops on 3rd down.
And there we see Kennesaw stay in that cover 2 look, not wanting to get too overtly aggressive after getting burned on that screen pass on 3rd and long on the last drive. Now, Furman's in a really good position. 3rd and 3, kind of have the book open. Minute 5 left. Don't necessarily have to get the ball in the air. They can run it. I would look for Coach Burton to go back aggressive here, send some pressure, try to get Huff off his spot.
It's a 3rd and 3. Thomas motions into the backfield with Huff. Eyes to pass down the middle, a 1st down as he squeezes it through to Ben Ferguson.
And the coaches said Ben Ferguson is automatic. If you need a 1st down and somebody to just catch it, he's the guy to go to.
Raved about their connection in the offseason. 1st down, quick pass. Harris runs the out route to perfection as he stops the clock at the Furman 31.
And this is a textbook 2-minute offense, getting the ball out your quarterback's hands quickly, receivers getting out of bounds, stopping that clock, taking what the defense gives you, because you don't want to force something here and create a turnover.
Couple true freshmen at corner on the bottom of your screen, and Paul and Washington. Second down. Huff looks that side, long pass into the sideline.
Something I also want to note, for both of these defense being so turnover savvy, Kennesaw State and Furman, we haven't seen one yet today.
Well, we talked about it. We're broadcasters. We jinxed it. Furman's dropped 2 picks.
You're right. Yeah, you're right. You're right. This is exactly where you want to have them. 3rd and long, 3rd and 6. I would consider 3rd and long, 3rd and 5 plus. So 3rd and 6 right there on that edge. Furman, I would assume, has to go in the air here. 44 seconds left.
On 3rd down, Huff with the pocket collapsing is sacked back at the 25.
Kennesaw State very happy to have him back in the ball game. Got banged up earlier. Carlos Allen with a manly pass
Kennesaw
rush.
State, their first of the half, will be 30 seconds.
Second sack for Carlos Allen in this ball game. What do you like here, Barkley?
What I love here is how he just wins at the point of attack, gets the hands off of him, comes back inside, bang, big sack. That actually wasn't even him.
99.
That was 99 Puda Walker. Fought off 2 blockers. Looked like Carlos Allen from the other side, but hey, 2 big men in gold can look a lot alike.
Carlos was celebrating for his team.
He sure was. Maybe trying to get a little bit of credit in the stat books, too. Give him a little .5.
Walker, the transfer out of West Florida, playing in his 26th game. Picks up career sack number 4.
And something else I want to note, this interior defensive line has been all over Huff whenever he's dropped back into normal pass and they're not getting the ball out of his hands quickly. That is the hardest place to rush the passer, is the interior, is a 3 technique or a nose tackle.
After the low snap, Foster on their turn makes one man miss at the 40. And he's out of bounds standing just shy of the 45. So 28 seconds to go. 2 timeouts remain for Kennesaw State.
So if you're Kennesaw State here, Nolan, do you sit there and try to air it out a little bit, or maybe just turn around, hand it off, go into halftime 14-7? I'm a little more aggressive. I would want to air it out. I'd put wide receivers everywhere. Let's try to pick up as many yards as we can.
Barkley, this isn't Madden.
I know. And that's I just like being aggressive. Looks like they might here. 3 wide receivers out.
Ball at their own 42 for Kennesaw State. Quick pass. Carson Kent, the tight end, takes a big lick out of bounds. Pickup goes for about 10 on first down to Kent, the walk-on out of Cambridge High School in Metro Atlanta.
And Kent was very, very impressive in the passing game in the first week against Tusculum. He's big and physical, and he can run for a tight end.
Had 2 catches last week against Chattanooga. Now 6th in the season, and he moves early there.
It's the jinx.
False start. Offense, number 86. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
It's part of being a young player playing in just his 3rd
Please
collegiate
reset the
game.
game clock to 23 seconds.
Yeah, that's definitely part of it, especially at a big time right now, late in the first half, trying to go down the field, get some points. That's whenever you need it the least, but young guys are going to mess up.
2nd and 6. Clean pocket for Murphy. Long pass. Bohannon with the catch inside the 25.
Timeout. Kennesaw State, their second of the half.
Pocket
30
holds.
seconds.
Jonathan Murphy, the senior out of Los Angeles, plants a dime to Blake Bohannon.
I love that. Just a textbook run post route from Bohannon. And the cornerback, Ivan Yates, was supposed to be covering him. That's just hard to run. Whenever you get out of your break really quickly like that and your quarterback's able to deliver it right to your numbers, there's not really much you can do but just make the tackle after the catch there.
16 seconds to go and 1 timeout at the
Please reset the
21-yard
game clock
line.
to 17 seconds.
How many plays do you have here of your Kennesaw State? 17 seconds now. They've added another tick.
I'd say 1 timeout, optimistically 4 plays. That's if you get out of bounds quickly, run a couple quick outs, just kind of work it closer and closer. Or you could look at it a different way. I think you could take 2 shots at the end zone and then take a field goal.
On 1st and 10, blitz coming, it's Murphy. He dances, and Murphy sacked across the 30-yard line. Oh, what a sack for Furman as Kennesaw State is forced to call its final timeout.
That is a huge sack from Furman. That takes away.
Timeout, Kennesaw State, the third and final timeout of the half. 30 seconds. Please reset the game clock to 10 seconds.
That takes away your last time out there. So now Kennesaw State, if they throw anything in bounds, is going to be tough. But, man, 58, Dan Sikana comes right up the middle, untouched. That's just a miscommunication and blitz pickup from that offensive line. And that's exactly what you don't need with 17 seconds left trying to drive down the field and get some points.
Dan Scianna, a walk-on, now 5th-year senior out of Frankfort, Illinois. Had a pick 6 in the opener against Tennessee Tech. Making start number 7 here tonight at Fifth Third Bank Stadium. Drills the Owls back for a 2nd and long with only 10 seconds to go. No timeouts remaining. This would be a 48-yard field goal in the range for Cummins, but he struggled with accuracy this fall. An early movement again by KSU.
False start, offense, number 86, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Second false start on Kent here of the drive.
Now you need to get a really nice chunk play so you feel a little bit more comfortable sending your field goal unit out there, especially for a more high percentage make. I believe the number is that I read the other day, and they were talking about NFL, but still applies to all college football. 40 yards and in is almost 80+%. Everything outside of that drops down significantly.
4-man rush. Murphy, good pass. Finer with the catch. He's inbounds. Kennesaw State hustles to the football. The Owls will not have time to spike it. And that will conclude the first half. Dan Scianna and the Paladins prance their way to the locker room with 14 unanswered points. Murphy coaching up his young tight end Kent will send us into the half with the score of Furman 14 and Kennesaw State 7. We send it down to Lauren Hoffman with the Owls head coach Brian Bohannon. Lauren, Russ elected to defer. So Ian Williams swings the right leg. We've got a touchback. Lauren Hoffman caught up with the head coach of the Paladins, Clay Hendricks, coming out of the break. Lauren, what did Clay have to say?
Yeah, Nolan, Coach Hendricks told me that offensively, he really likes the way that things are going. Defensively, he thought the team played pretty well, except for about 3 plays. And he did mention those 2 almost turnovers. I said, do you know what's going on with that? Why they can't just bring the ball down? He said, Lauren, I really wish I had an answer for you.
Barkley's just going to say that's why they play on the defensive side of the football.
That is. That's exactly what I was going to say. No one took the words right out of my mouth.
KSU ran out of time to close out the first half. Murphy on the quarterback keeper. Eyes a seam. Murphy down the sideline. Taken out of bounds near midfield.
That's a way to get the offense started early. Nice play by Kennesaw State. Again, just trying to get the ball in their dynamic quarterback's hands and allow him to do whatever he wants. I'm sure Coach Bohannon had a lot of really strong words for the offense at halftime, trying to get them ramped up, trying to get them started. Really nice block by Isaac Foster on the second level, walling off that Paladin linebacker.
22 yards for Murphy, 6 carries for 35 here in the ball game. Play fake. Murphy throws. Foster with the catch. Jukes around the defender, and Foster gains a first down to the Furman 40.
And this is exactly what Coach Klinakis, I'm sure, envisioned coming out of halftime. 2 big plays to start it, get your offense that confidence back. Definitely waned a little bit after that touchdown. The Paladins were able to force some 3 and outs. Man, they keep playing, making those quick completions and getting those running. They just need little seams in the running game to build that confidence.
15 yards for Foster, his 4th catch. Kent, the tight end, in motion. Handoff to Benyard on the stretch play. Benyard brings a couple of defenders, loses a cleat. Gets maybe 2.
And I'll look for them to try to get the ball in that young man's hands as well, whether it's at the running back position or the receiver position, or just line him up at running back and throw it to him. He's very dynamic, lost a shoe. But the counter to this, Furman sent the house on that last play. Linebackers were attacking the line of scrimmage as soon as the ball was snapped. They definitely want to try to create a negative play here, try to get Kennesaw State's offense a little bit more on their heels.
Play clock under 10 for Kennesaw State as the huddle breaks. Finer, Bohannon, Foster the receivers. Owls get it off. Murphy through the middle. Dancing. And he's tackled by the defensive lineman Bryce Stanfield, a homecoming out of Ackworth, Georgia, just up the road in Harrison High School.
And that's just an effort play by Stanfield. Murphy juking around, trying to find any sort of seam there. Looks like he found one at the end and went to go put his cleat in the ground and get north and south. And bang, Stanfield right on his back, coming all the way from the opposite side of the line.
Playing in his 24th career game. 6'2", 270-pound junior. 3rd and 9 for KSU. Paladins rush 4 on a pass. Murphy throws low and incomplete, intended for Finer.
And that's a rare miscue from Murphy, who's had a really nice night passing the ball so far. 11 for 20 for 153 and that long touchdown. Just little low there. Need to kind of set his feet a little bit more. Had a little antsy feet in the pocket. Really had a clean pocket. Offensive line did a nice job protecting him there and deliver a strike. That's a first down all day.
Hewitt will look to pin the Paladins inside the 10-yard line. He's had 3 inside the 20 of the season. High bounce, and it's downed by the long snapper, Ronnie Thomas, with 12:01 to go in the third quarter. Furman takes possession for the first time of the second half.
Now, this Furman offense is going to look to stay red hot, Nolan. They were hot to end that first half. You know, big play with Huff, and that's who I think they're going to try to keep it in his hands. They're going to tell him, hey, look, you're our leader. Go play ball. 18 for 23, 155, and 8 rushing attempts for 32 yards and 2 touchdowns. Plays quarterback like a linebacker. I'm sure they love that. Maybe just want him to slide a little bit more.
On first down, hands off to Roberto, chugs his way for about 3 behind left guard and tackle. Walker and Hobson on the stop for KSU.
And this Kennesaw State, not just the defensive line, who is just creating great pressure on Huff whenever it's the passing game and getting penetration on this Furman offensive line. The linebackers have done a really nice job of filling their gaps and making the tackles. Haven't seen a lot of missed tackles tonight.
4 yards for Roberto, 12th all-time in rushing yards in Furman history. Takes the handoff once more, breaks a tackle at the 25. He's at the 30 and rumbles past the 35 for a Paladin 1st and 10.
Jinxed him again. and, you know, definitely missed tackle there. Want to bring him down. Really nice job by 69, walling him off. Getting Morris off, because usually Morris is a step ahead of the guard pulling, is able to sit right there in that gap and either make Roberto cut back to where all of his help is running or able to make the play in the gap himself.
Roberto was hurt in the first half, missed a couple of drives, came on for Furman's long scoring march. 3rd straight handoff, Roberto bowls his way to midfield to the 49 of Furman, a 12-yard gain.
Yeah, I don't think that the coaches will be mad about this young man's effort tonight. He has been playing with the effort of a lion, just coming back from injury. You know that's tough, especially an ankle injury at the running back position. And now just putting together several nice runs, working all the way up to now. He has 10 attempts for 57 yards after those last few runs. I believe he was only sitting at about 15 before.
Last 18 games averaging 6 yards per carry, 95 yards on average. Play fake. Huff calls his own number and gains a couple.
And that's the exact same play that they hit on big late in the first half, that quarterback power, where Huff was able to run all the way for a touchdown. Kennesaw State subbing out their defensive line, getting a little gassed. Whenever you're sitting there allowing the offense to kind of get 4 or 5 yards of carry, it will wear out that front 7.
Offensive coordinator Justin Roper says we don't want to be an offense of extremes. Looking to balance it out with a rushing attack to start out the Furman offense in the third quarter. Play fake. Huff open. Man just missed him. A rare miscue from Huff intended for Wayne Anderson Jr.
That looked a lot like Coach Klenakis' offense running that RPO there. Huff reading the nearest outside linebacker, which that time was 7, Garland Binyard, who came on a blitz, which is why Huff was able to pull it out so quick and try to get it to his wide receiver, Wayne Anderson. Wide open, just a little bit of a miss throw. I think the pressure caused that one.
14 points in the second quarter for Furman thanks to that stat. 5 for 7 on third downs. Paladins did not convert on third down. They're scoreless in the first. Empty set. First look at this tonight. Swing pass. Joshua Harris to the 46. And he spun down at about the 45. 4th and 3 here. What did the Paladins do?
I think with how hot your offense has been and how your defense has played so well, you got to punt. Your defense has bowed their neck, gave up that one long touchdown. Besides that, the Owls have struggled getting anything going as they roll out the punt unit. I think that's a smart call there. It's not like your offense didn't get enough first downs there to kind of give your defense a break. So, smart call.
Kind of felt like that may have been a call knowing that you might have had a 4th down attempt. Levy, end over end punt. Foster signals for the fair catch, and the senior has it at the 11. Breaking the action, 8:50 left here in the third. Same score as halftime, 14-7 in favor of Furman.
Welcome back to Fifth Third Bank Stadium, where Furman leads Kennesaw State 14-7 here in the third quarter. Now, if you look closely, you'll see these decals on all Furman helmets in remembrance of the late Dick Sheridan. Sheridan was a member of Furman's coaching staff for 13 seasons. And you'll see the diamond features a DS in the middle, and this is actually the logo that Sheridan created and brought to Furman. He coined it as the Diamond F in 1973. His career was, of course, highlighted by helping Furman to their first ever SoCon championship in 1978. I talked to Furman's head coach, Clay Hendricks, about Sheridan, and he just said that he's first class in everything that he did. He made a huge impact on Hendricks, and he said that there are better fathers, husbands, and community leaders out there because of Sheridan.
Excellent work there, Lauren. Dick Sheridan, late coach for Furman, passed away this summer. Clay Hendricks played underneath him when he was an offensive lineman at Furman, followed Sheridan to NC State. When Hendricks and Sheridan were together at Furman, they beat NC State in back-to-back years. The Wolfpack said, we like that. Come on up to Raleigh. First year, Sheridan and Hendricks went 8-3. Sheridan, the Bobby Dodd Coach of the Year. Loss of 2 for Kennesaw State on its first play. Murphy throws. Bohannon with his third catch of the night. Fights his way across the 22, about the 22. Micah Robinson, the corner on the tackle. It's third down for the Owls.
And the play before, Kennesaw State struggled to get a push offensively. Furman was just playing in the backfield. So to get them to play a little bit softer, maybe not bring as much pressure, you can hit them with those quick digs, those quick comebacks, just like Blake Bohannon did there. Pick up a nice, easy first down. Kind of gives you a little bit more to work with. As I said earlier, you throw it to open up the run game.
So pardon me, first down for Kennesaw State. From the right hash. Murphy on the handoff, and Benefield can't get out of the arm tackle by the Furman legacy. The defensive lineman Jack Barton called the leader of the team his Uncle Hollis, now a dentist down the road in Roswell. Played for the Paladins a few decades.
I'm surprised. We have not called his name much tonight. Now, Kennesaw State has tried to run it away from him a little bit and get the ball out of Murphy's hands quickly, but I got to tip my hat to this Kennesaw State offensive line, keeping him off of the quarterback tonight.
Benefield moves to the right of Murphy. Bobbles it. Loose football. Benefield hops on it. Still have not had a turnover in this ball game. That was almost it on the missed exchange between Murphy and Benefield.
And that's just a miscommunication. Benefield running right into Murphy's arms. Probably needed to be about a half a yard shallower in his route right there to kind of hit it right in his gut. But Coach Bohannon hit on that. Those are the things that you cannot do against a good defense like Furman. It's the penalties and then the miscues like that put you in 3rd and long.
It's a 3rd and 14. Murphy on the quarterback keeper. It's back to the initial line of scrimmage. It's the linebacking duo of Luke Clark and Braden Gilby combining for the tackle. 4th down for the Owls with 6 minutes to go in the 3rd.
Now, Braden Gilby's name I feel like we have called about 100 times tonight. He has been all over the field making tackles there again, not getting faked out by the dynamic quarterback, Jonathan Murphy. Tried to give him a little bit of a Deion Sanders high step, get him to over pursue a little bit, and not successful. Gilby did not fall for that trick.
4th tackle for Gilby. First that wasn't solo. Spiraling punt. Harris runs up, fields it at the 39, and he's tackled at about the 45. 5:30 left in the 3rd. Similar to the first quarter, both defenses playing well to start out the second half. Paladins take possession, up by 7. Brian Bohannon, look at him on your screen, the architect of Kennesaw State football in his 9th year, only head coach in program history. Owls are 9-8 against ranked opponents, trying to take down number 7 Furman at home today in the second all-time meeting between these programs. Look at the last top 10 win, the Classic at SunTrust, now Truist Park, against Jacksonville State in 5 overtimes.
I was going to say, how impressive is that? 9-8, whenever the school is still in its infancy football program-wise. Coach Bohannon, the only coach, very impressive to be 9-8 versus ranked opponents.
Huff slips out of a sack. He dances up the middle, and he's chopped down for a 2-yard gain.
How did he slip out of the arms of Puda Walker? Trying to go high. Puda trying to give him a big old bear hug. And Huff does a really nice job seeing him early and just ducking under Puda. Wow, that is elusiveness right there. Madden would give him about a 95 on that one, Nolan.
The head coaches Bohannon and then Hendricks look on. 2nd and 8. Roberto takes the handoff inside KSU territory to the 48. 3rd and 3 to go.
I have a feeling that Coach Justin Roper was on his offensive line there at halftime, telling them they're struggling getting a push. We need to establish the run game. It looks like 2 different offensive lines so far in the second half, been able to get pressure on the linebackers and get that running game rolling.
Furman eyes the call to its own sideline. Almost 40 yards in the ground this quarter for the Paladins. On a 3rd and 3, will they keep it on the ground? It's Roberto who takes the handoff and shoves his way for a 1st down.
Talk about building the confidence of your offensive line. 3rd and 3. You call just a basic inside zone to the right there. Tell them, hey, I trust you guys. Go grind it out, get this 1st down. And that's exactly what they do. Got a nice push. Stop the linebackers coming in trying to fill the gap. And then you can't talk about Roberto, can't go without talking about Roberto as well, muscling it in, getting that 1st down.
Roberto, another handoff, only a yard there. Demetric Barnes, Cam Donald, Barron Hobson combined for the stop.
And that Demetric Barnes set the edge like a grown man right there, really getting in the pads of right tackle Blake Hundley, shoving him back in the B gap and just shutting down any thought of running the ball at him.
Only a 1-yard gain. Receivers bunched out the formation. That looked funky, and it draws the flags.
False start, offense, the entire offensive line. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
I love it whenever the Stripes say something like that. I'll never forget, the famous one where he's giving them the business.
Will Barkley just complimented the offensive line, and they all had a false start there.
I've been bad about that today. They did a great job on that run and play before.
You see number 77 top of your screen. That is Fred Norman. They call him Big Fred. Biggest player in Furman history. 6'7", 342. 2nd time playing against KSU. He's on the 2021 SoCon champs ETSU. Huff dials a pass, open man Ferguson down the right sideline, puts on the Jets inside the 15 and takes a hard lick out of bounds with a 1st and goal for the Paladins.
And defensive coordinator Nathan Burton is not going to be happy with that. You have them exactly where you want them, and Huff knows that. Gives a really good play call, busted coverage right there. Markeith Montgomery's supposed to follow this receiver all the way out there to the outer thirds, and Huff saw it and made him pay.
1st and goal at the 8 for Furman. Paladins have scored twice on Tyler Huff rushes. Roberto joins him in the backfield. Shiflett put in motion. Huff, another quarterback keeper, to the edge. Huff with a stiff arm is tripped up inside the 5. DeAndre Moore's 10 tackles in the first half, set a career high, makes the stop there.
They love running this quarterback power with Huff, and Roberto leading the way. Nice block right there on linebacker. Stiff arm, man. God, good job carrying off with the stiff arm, though, and getting on his legs, making that tackle. If not, that would have been the 3rd rushing touchdown for Huff. I think that was the best description you gave earlier. He does. He plays quarterback like a linebacker.
That's what his former coach Tommy Spangler said, again now on staff at Furman. 2nd and goal at the 4. Huff, play fake. Huff dances. He's in the end zone for the 3rd time tonight. Tyler Huff did not have an open option. Talk about making lemonade out of something. As he scampers to the left, he scores from 4 yards out, and Furman is up 20-7.
I mean, that's just being a gamer, having the feel, saw nobody open, pocket collapsing underneath him. Got in there and ran for his 3rd touchdown of the game. No, think how different this game might look if Tyler Huff was not on the Furman football team.
PAT is true by Axel LaPro. He is the difference maker. He scored all 3 times for Furman, and the Paladins lead by 14. Presbyterian transfer Tyler Huff looked to pass, and now I'm going to score in the ground for the 3rd time tonight. A career effort and rushing scores for Tyler Huff, Barkley Miller.
Yeah, just big physical quarterback playing like he is a big physical linebacker. He's the heartbeat of this team. He shows it. Whenever the play breaks down tonight, that's what's been so impressive to me is how he's able to adapt and overcome, whether it's through the air or on the ground. There's been multiple times he's just scrambled around back there, looking, pass rush coming in, and he finds a receiver open as well. He's dynamic, and he's been the difference maker of this football game.
While at Presbyterian, he was in the ROTC. He is already commissioned as a 2nd lieutenant in the U.S. Army Reserves. He's married. He has Furman out to a 21-7 lead. Foster on the return here, out of bounds just across the 20. Kennesaw State back on offense, Barkley. It's been a sputtering offense right now, maybe a flash in the pan for that short 4-play touchdown drive and the pass from Murphy to Binyard in the first half. They want to find consistency. What's the best way to go about it here?
I think with how much they've struggled to run in between the tackles, you have to go to your intermediate passing game. And also, you said his name. You got to get the ball to Binyard in space. I think that would be a big difference maker here.
He's on the numbers in the bottom of your screen at receiver. Murphy looks for him to Binyard. Completion. There goes Binyard. It's a foot race. Will he win it? And he's tripped up with the 20. Rub the crystal ball, Barkley Miller. Big play to Binyard once again for the black and gold.
We were just talking about Tyler Huff, right? He's the difference maker for that Furman offense. Binyard is the difference maker for this Owls offense. He gets a step, and that's all he needs. He gets one step on him, that's all he needs. He's off to the races. Gets caught up a little bit there by also the difference maker on Furman's defense, Blackshear. If not for him, that's house call.
Binyard last week at Chattanooga, career high 123 receiving yards. He had a touchdown against the Mocs. That one right there brings his numbers up to 94 receiving yards. You have to go back to the Justin Sumter era to maybe have a receiver with that big of consecutive receiving yardage total in KSU history.
And talk about doing it differently, too. Justin Sumter, more of a big physical jump ball guy.
Owls now find themselves in the red zone of Furman. Ball at the Paladin 18-yard line. Diggs is the running back. Murphy, quarterback keeper, not much on the edge, lowers the shoulder and splits a couple of blockers to barrel his way to the 13.
And I like this as well. Kalinakis seems to know he might be a little mismatched on the offensive line, especially center guard. So they're trying to get the ball out to the perimeter more, whether it was with Binyard on that nice slant or there with Murphy, just getting them outside the tackles, giving them a little bit more space to run. Coach Bohannon said he felt like their edge in this game was going to be their speed.
And number 4 will take the Owls into the fourth quarter. 21-7. Furman leads Kennesaw State, but the Owls have it in the Paladins red zone, looking for the comeback. A very unique story on display here today. For more on these two university presidents, we send it down to the field with Lauren Hoffman.
Nolan, not just two university presidents on the field with me, but two friends. President Schweig, I'll start with you. Can you describe your relationship with President Davis, where it all began?
So Elizabeth and I were both freshmen at Baylor in 1980, and we met. Elizabeth is from New Orleans, and I'm from a small town in Texas. And we became roommates, and we're roommates for the rest of our time at Baylor. So.
And what are the odds both of you are presidents of universities here in the Southeast? Is this something that you guys dreamed about, in your dorm room together?
We never thought about this, and both of us were provosts before we were presidents, and no one knows what a provost is, so you could never imagine wanting to be a provost.
Now, since you guys are such great friends, I'd love for each of you guys to share a fun fact about the other one. President Schweig, I'll start with you.
So, Elizabeth and I were the best moped riders on the Baylor campus. So we leased a moped and rode that thing all around campus. So that was super fun.
I see you shaking your head. You agree with that?
We did. And there may have been some shenanigans that we engaged in that if we told you, we would have to kill you.
Oh, yeah, we won't talk about that on air then. But what's your fun fact about President Schweig?
Well, so Kathy and I would find ways to do things that we weren't really allowed to do, but no one ever caught us. So, yeah, we were good.
I like it. So the sneaky students make the best presidents. That's what you're saying.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Now, President Davis, what makes Furman feel like home?
Furman, it's a small campus. It's much smaller than Kennesaw, and there's a real home feel. So when I walk across campus, I see students. I might not know their names, but I know I've seen them.
And President Schweig, what makes KSU feel like home?
Absolutely, our students. Our students are wonderful, and when you meet a Kennesaw student, you're proud of them and excited for them and for their future. And you're one of them, so you're a perfect example. So
thank you so much, and thank you both for your time. And don't worry, there's going to be no bad blood depending on who wins tonight, because President Davis is staying the night with President Schweig tonight.
Thank you very much, Lauren. Jonathan Murphy on the quarterback keeper makes it a 1st and goal for KSU. They'll have plenty to talk about tonight. Set up for a good finish here. Furman has scored 21 unanswered points, but now Kennesaw State on the big play to Binyard sets up now a 1st and goal. Murphy calls his number again, dances forward, and Furman stifles him at the 1-yard line.
I do like Kennesaw's odds here. 3rd and down from the 1. I think they got to go under center. Look for that classic quarterback power play we've seen from Kennesaw State 100 times. Or even if it's from the shotgun, quarterback power. It's such a high percentage play for the Owls.
2nd and goal. Hands it off. Preston Daniels, the big man, stretches forward and scores for Kennesaw State. That's reminiscent of Daniels' role in the old flexbone offense. He makes the move to tight end. 2 hands in the football, and Daniels scores for the first time in 2023.
I like it. When in doubt, hand it off to the big man. At the end of the season, he might be one of those players that might not have a lot of yards under his belt, but might have a lot of those. Little 1 yard, just running him over. Nobody was stopping him. I mean, the Furman linebackers tried to fill the gap there and get on his legs. It didn't matter. He was getting in there for a touchdown.
Hate to be the safety, Hugh Ryan on the back end of that lick. PAT is true. Back to a 7-point ball game. Kennesaw State on a gotta-have-it drive answers the touchdown of Furman by handing it off to Preston Daniels. Sandersville, Georgia, stand up on a Saturday night. 1-score game here at Fifth Third Bank Stadium. Had only scored 1 touchdown prior to its last drive. I said, the Owls need to find some consistency on offense. How do they do it? You said, need to get in the hands of Gabe Binyard. So what happens on the first play? 60-plus through the air to Binyard. They cap it off. A couple of nice rushes by Murphy. Preston Daniels, number 2, you see on your screen, scores for the first time this season. So Owls got it going on the rushing yardage at the end. Not good when they can't outrush the opponent. You can see the 7 times has not worked out in their favor. but they're finally able to find that balance offensively in the last drive.
Yeah, they were. And, you know, they did it on the run game whenever they got Murphy outside the tackles. And then, as you said, the big one was getting Binyard in open space. That's just what they need to continue to do, whether it's through the air or on the ground.
Wayne Anderson Jr. with a crease. Anderson Jr. to the 40, out of bounds with an electrifying return for the Paladins, and a flag comes in. He is the speedster on this Furman offensive and kickoff return unit. Has it in his genes. His mom ran track at St. John's up in New York. Will this add extra yards to the return or bring it back?
Personal foul, horse collar tackle. Kicking teams, number 8. 15 yards will be added to the end of the run. First down.
Well, Barkley, it goes back to what Brian Bohannon said at halftime. You repeated. Can the Owls stop the self-inflicted wounds? Excellent return from Anderson here, and then 15 more added with a horse collar.
And you got to think, too, that after the Kennesaw State's offense puts together an impressive drive where they've been sputtering all day, that's exactly what you don't need if you're Kennesaw State to work your way back in this ball game. And, man, Paladins now in plus position.
Handoff on the edge. Hitton holds on to the football, and he's tackled at the 30-yard line. Gamble on the tackle, and a late flag comes in again. A look of disbelief on Brian Bohannon's face. Jason Soisman with the call. Bohannon still pleading his
Personal
case.
foul, late hit, defense, number 6. 15 yards be added to the end of the play. First down.
On DeAndre Morris, the safety.
I tend to agree with Coach Bohannon on that one. I from the booth, Nolan, it just looked like a football play to me. Didn't see much as we get another look at it. Nice tackle by Gamble there.
There's 6 top of your screen.
Yeah, what?
What?
All right, that's bad, man. That's very bad.
He didn't even hit anyone at the end.
They need to send that one into the NCAA. That's bad.
Roberto takes the handoff, gets a couple. I just don't know what was it a different number that they had wrong? I didn't see anything.
But there was nothing really going on, though. There was nothing going on around the ball, unless there was something off the ball. But still, they got the number way wrong, which is, I want to point this out too, which is huge, because if he gets another personal foul, he's out of the game. So if you get the number wrong, that completely changed. And DeAndre Morris, big player for Kennesaw State's defense.
Leading tackler tonight.
Yeah, I mean, man, that's just bad all around. Sorry you had to see that, folks.
2nd and 9 for Furman at the 14 of Kennesaw State. Huff, play fake, batted away, incomplete. Owls told us they practiced that this week, knocking down the Huff passes. Yeah, they swatted down to make it 3rd and 9.
Yeah, just getting your hands up around the quarterback, creating a crowded vision for him makes it a lot tougher. And then unless your quarterback's about 6'4", it's even harder to get it up over him. Man, that was almost football gods giving a little cherry back to the Owls.
Jalen Barnum, the former Yellow Jacket out of Wayne County High School. 3rd down. Paladins need to get it to about the 4 of KSU. Huff, pocket collapsing, climbs forward. Huff is off to the races. Huff eyes the end zone, and he scores for the 4th time tonight.
Where's the penalty on that? Wow, that's bad.
4th rushing score for Tyler Huff, continues his career night. 2nd time he's gotten the face of Markeith Montgomery. And again, a quarterback slipping through the pocket hurts the Owls in back-to-back weeks.
I mean, that's clean. Wow, I cannot believe that they let him get away with that. That's rough. That, I mean, great play by Huff. I'd be pumped up too, you know? Maybe a late one thrown.
We do have a flag in the end zone.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, offense, number 6 for taunting. That 15-yard penalty would be forced on the kickoff. That's number 6's first foul towards disqualification.
And I know Huff was pumped up. I mean, he should be. Four rushing touchdowns?
4th rushing score of the night. Every point for Furman saved the extra points.
Huge play by the young man, but can't do that.
So Furman takes advantage. An almost 50-yard kickoff return as the extra point is good. Couple of penalties against Kennesaw State, and Huff evades the Owl defense by scoring for the 4th time. Gets in the face of Montgomery, and Furman back on top by 2 scores. For Furman quarterback Tyler Huff tonight gets the Paladins a 2-score lead over Kennesaw State. For more on the Furman signal caller, we send it down to Lauren.
Yeah, Nolan, it is the Tyler Huff show out here. The transfer from Presbyterian was a little more of a silent leader in his first year as a Paladin, but he's really come into his own this season, as you guys can tell. Furman offensive coordinator Justin Roper told me a story about how earlier this year the team was running simulations of different scenarios. There was some chatter among the guys about the session running longer than planned, but Huff was having no part of it. He stood up in front of the team and vocalized that this was important, and he's not having any of that talk. Roper said that's the kind of poise he sees from him in big moments. Coach Hendricks also commented on his maturity. He's married and a 2nd lieutenant in the U.S. Army Reserves.
Thank you, Lauren. Foster takes the return for Kennesaw State and absorbs a big hit. And it's interesting to note, we saw Roper talking with Huff there on the sideline. Roper said it can be a little unique being a transfer quarterback and not really feeling like you have the ability to speak up. Roper knows that. He did that after starring at Buford High School. Shout out to the Wolves. Went to the University of Oregon, then transferred to Montana. Roper unofficially the only college player ever to play in a bowl game, FCS playoffs, and March Madness. But this is year 2 as well, what I'm getting at for the Roper and Huff marriage. As things expand for Furman, that's what has the Paladins truly excited about this year, both of their progressions and year 2 in the purple and white.
Yeah, and I could definitely see where he's coming from. You know, you come in and the program's built and the traditions there and, you know, the expectations there, and you just got to kind of adapt to it. And then you get to be the leader, like he said, this year more and make it your own and have your own voice.
Owls have it from their own 24, looking to answer the touchdown by Huff. And a 2-yard gain.
Very nice play by 46 there off the edge, coming, scraping all the way down on the backside of that offensive line and making a really nice tackle in the backfield.
Offensive line has had to shuffle up without a couple of key players tonight, and Nathan Wright Dawson, the injured Owl, rolled up on the tackle by Alex Meyer. See the training staff having to help Dawson. Got his first start against Dixie State in the spring season of 2021, playing in his 23rd career game for Kennesaw State tonight. And the offensive line, as I said, without Nate Wright, Terrell Paxton expected to be limited, has to shuffle even more now. I believe it's Al Hogan, the Wofford transfer, stepping in at center, shifting over from guard. Murphy takes a shot for Binyard, has him, Gabe Binyard on the hook up to the 45 of Furman, and Jonathan Murphy sets the Kennesaw State single game passing mark. There is an injured offensive lineman behind the play. Oh my goodness.
Seaburn Hines down. Man, even more shuffling for this offensive line coming up.
So with Nate Wright out, Hines, who Chris Klanakis, OC and offensive line coach, said it progressed well at guard, had to move to tackle. Here's Murphy, defender in his face, delivering it spot on to Binyard.
Binyard, again, just being the difference maker for this Kennesaw State offense. Just anytime they can get him one-on-one, whether it's on the outside or over the middle, he has just been open and been able to get really nice chunks of yards. But, man, it's going to be a tall, tall task for this Kennesaw State offense. 4 offensive linemen now. Yeah, that's tough.
I mean,
for
you
an
got
NFL
5.
team.
You got 4 out.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's four out. That's tough for an NFL team. They usually don't even carry that many reserves.
So Binyard, after the reception by Murphy, has 123 receiving yards. Last week against UTC, we noted that was his career high, so he duplicates that. Murphy, 255 passing yards, is the new single-game record holder at Kennesaw State, as Hines has to hobble off the field. I have never seen that happen. Back-to-back plays, you lose an offensive lineman.
Me either, Nolan. And you know, I hate it. You hate to see an injury anywhere in college football because these guys, they work so hard to even get on the field, but especially for the seniors.
So Trey Butts at right tackle. J.T. Pennington moves over to guard. Ethan Newman, a freshman's in there. Hogan's at center. Deron Willis at left tackle. I think the hope here is an offensive lineman is able to stay healthy on this play. I say that tongue-in-cheek. It's just, God goodness. Murphy, keeper, on the edge. He's got blockers. Murphy inside the 40.
The shuffling, you know, really nice job. 2 new guys really taking their first snaps of the game in there. Nice job creating a path for Murphy to carry the ball and get some nice yards. Usually, this is where you see bobbled snaps and just straight up missed assignments from the offensive line whenever you're having the shuffling up from. They're not used to playing in the position they're in.
Foster Bohannon, receivers towards the top of your screen. A 2 tight end look. Eight men in the box for the Paladins. Benefield takes the handoff and spins his way for a 1st and 10.
Again, getting some push, getting to the second level, getting hats on linebackers, walling it off, giving Benefield a nice little seam to cut through and pick up a 1st down. Kennesaw State needs to score quicker, though. I know it's 10:46 left, but as we talked about, that clock doesn't stop any longer after 1st downs. Definitely shortens the game and doesn't give you as many possessions to work with.
Won't take place until inside 2 minutes left in the 2nd and 4th quarters. 8 minutes plus to go here. Binyard flexed out as receiver. Set in motion. Fake the handoff. Murphy, open man. Alexander Diggs sheds a tackle. Diggs at the 10. And Diggs is taken down inside the 5-yard line. Alexander Diggs making the most of his opportunity in 2023. He's got his first catch of the night, and it's a 1st and goal to go.
And Nolan, how about Murphy? He's cool as a cucumber in the pocket while it's collapsing around him. Gets the ball out quickly to Diggs, who just ran a dig. Nice little comeback route. Gets it to him, puts it right in the numbers, and nice little yak after it, too. Really nice series for the Owls here.
KSU wants to punch it in. Trim the lead back down to 7. Binyard, the tailback. Diggs also in the backfield with Murphy. On an option, Murphy throws. Diggs tripped over himself. He was wide open to the back of the end zone, and he appears hurt.
Like I said, you hate to see these players get injured. They do. They work so hard all year to get on the field, and right there, Diggs wide open. I think that's why he fell. I mean, that's an automatic touchdown.
Edge your screen.
Yep. Oh.
Brian Bohannon remarked, coming into this season, this was the healthiest KSU had been arguably ever. Smallest number of red jerseys. I think maybe only 3 or 4 missed the opening game 2 weeks ago against Tusculum. But we will now see the 3rd Owl leave on this drive.
That is shocking. I've never seen anything like this. In all my years of watching college football, playing, and now calling the games, I've never seen anything like this. It just, the somber tone is warranted. Like to see him walk out of his own power like this, though.
I'll say this, Barkley. If Kennesaw State is able to punch it in right here, this might be the most impressive drive of the short year so far.
Not just impressive, most complete, I think is a really good word for it, too. They've done it on the ground. They've done it through the air. It hasn't just been a big chunk play. It's been, you know, they've gotten guys. It's been the quick pass game. It's been the run game. I won't necessarily say in between the tackles, but on the perimeter. And then on, you know, Murphy's done a really nice job of reading the linebackers, knowing where he wants to go and getting it done quickly. He's not back there antsy,
and
like we've seen at
having
parts
to
of this
fight
game.
to lose 3 players on offense.
Yes, absolutely.
So a second and goal. Kent, the tight end, joins Daniels on the right side of the formation. Handed off to Benefield, and Benefield is spun up at the 1, extends over and scores. There's a flag in the backfield. Benefield ruled with a touchdown. We'll see what happens.
Holding. Offense, number 62. 10-yard penalty. Replay second down.
Again, the Owls just shooting themselves in the foot. That's points off the board. Oh, yeah, can't do that. That's about a tackle.
And that's Hogan, who played center at Wofford, but moving over to center when Dawson was injured at the start of the drive.
It is. It's tough. You know, he's probably practiced at guard all camp, you know, getting ready for it this game as well. Hasn't taken a snap at center since we've been calling the games. And now, yeah, I mean, that's tough. Can't do that, though. They will call that 10 times out of 10.
Second and goal from the 13 after the 7th penalty against Kennesaw State. Murphy pumps. He throws. Binyard touchdown. Gabe Binyard scores through the air yet again. And Kennesaw State with a resilient drive to answer the Furman touchdown.
How impressive is Gabe Binyard? I mean, he's everywhere. He's running back. He's receiver. He's
Roy Kent. He's everywhere.
He is. Hey, laying blocks. I mean, he's great night for him. And you know, I gotta give a tip to my cap to Jonathan Murphy as well. Did a really nice job with that pump fake. Pulled the linebacker off Binyard enough just so he could dump it to him. That's very reminiscent of the growth that we see from whenever he missed Isaac Foster when he was trying to float it over a defender earlier in this game.
Second receiving score for Binyard, 136 receiving yards, another career night for Gabe Binyard. Cummins on for the extra point. 28-21 our score with 9:25 to go in the fourth quarter. Murphy behind a makeshift offensive line. You called the pump, there it is. Faked out the cameraman. Gabe Binyard back in the end zone. Pulls it down for the touchdown. Murphy celebrating with his sideline. Another thing too, Barkley, Chris Klanakis noted to us, he has been so impressed with Murphy's study. What he brings from the film room, how he studies the game. That he noticed in the offseason that pressed him, but it's continued in the regular season as he's the first player in KSU history with 299 yards. I'll say this, that pump, that wasn't in his game before. He's used that to his advantage multiple times tonight, as you've noted, Barkley.
Yeah, he has, and you know, it's a very underrated part of the game. You don't see it a ton anymore in college football because things are so quick now. You know, with the quick RPO, you're making decisions. But it can completely fake out a linebacker, even a defensive back, pulling them off just enough. You just need about half a step to complete that pass.
Pooch kick out of bounds. So Furman will have it at the 35.
Big possession for this Furman offense. One, to stay hot, and two, for this Kennesaw State defense to get the ball back to their red-hot offense. I mean, just talk about a huge step for Kennesaw State on that last drive.
So both teams with touchdowns here in the second half. Furman has found its groove offensively with Huff at quarterback. 4 rushing scores tonight. Dominic Roberto has been a stalwart on the ground. Missed a couple series, was hurt after the first drive. He's coming and toted it well.
There are 2 fouls on the play, both by the kicking team. Offsides, kicking team number 44. That penalty is declined. Free kick out of bounds, kicking team, ball be placed at the 35-yard line, first down.
What's the plan here if you're Brian Bohannon and KSU to slow down Furman?
Was on number 24.
Oh, I mean, you got to go back to what you were successful with early in the first half and just being aggressive, bringing a lot of pressure. You might give up some big plays doing that, but the negative plays and turnover opportunities it presents negates it.
Clean football game. No one has turned it over tonight. Roberto takes the handoff, runs into a wash of gold and white jerseys for a short gain.
And there we see them be a little bit aggressive. They brought number 14 right off the edge. Just, you know, did a really nice job of cutting through and making a play in the backfield. Jalen Barnum.
2nd and 7. Play fake. Huff hit by Binyard. He throws tipped and almost intercepted by KSU. A dangerous play by Tyler Huff.
Very dangerous play by Tyler Huff. I'm surprised he tried to throw that football. He almost paid for it. And also a really heads-up play by number 21, Markeith Montgomery, getting his hands all around number 81, Parks, the tight end Parks Gissinger, because the ball was tipped. So he could do, it's free-for-all at that point. You can do about whatever you want, try to make a play on the football.
All of a sudden, it's 3rd and 7. This would be massive if the Owls can force a 3-and-out against Furman. Haven't seen it in the second half. Huff looks to dial up a pass, scrambles to the left, surveys, and Huff is brought down at the line of scrimmage. The Owls force a critical 3rd down stop.
And that's what being aggressive gets you. Aggressive on 1st and 2nd down puts them in a 3rd and long situation. Right there, you don't have to be aggressive anymore. Just step back. They have a spy right there, number 7. Binyard is spying Huff, so Huff's not able to use his legs and get out and pick up a big 1st down. And then what does that do as well? Makes him sit back behind the line of scrimmage. That whole defensive line running to him, able to bring him down.
Levy to punt. Foster the return man. Foster makes a man miss, turns upfield, and squeezes it across the 35. 8:05 left in the ball game. Kennesaw State can go down and tie it up.
And I'll tell you, this is very reminiscent of the first half whenever Furman had a nice long drive. That Kennesaw State defense was out there a long time and then got the ball back quickly. And that Kennesaw State defense was a little tired. That Furman defense, we're going to see some hands on hips right here on this drive, because that was a long drive from Kennesaw State. Now ball back quickly after that 3-and-out. Look for them to have some opportunities.
Coming into this ball game, KSU outscoring its opposition 31-3 in the 4th quarter. First play is a play fake. Murphy looking for the home run. Incomplete to Bohannon at the Furman 30. Oh, he had him, Barkley.
He did. He did. Nice pass. You can't put it anywhere else. Right in the breadbasket. Just not able to haul it in. Kennesaw State continuing just to shoot themselves in the foot. That's a big one right there. That's a game changer. Flipping field position. Man, that's tough. Son of, right there, Coach Bohannon.
Would have been the 4th catch for Blake Bohannon. 2nd down and 10. Murphy, it's a quarterback keeper, dances for only a couple. Cam Brinson, the strong safety out of Augusta, Georgia, set the edge and brings up 3rd down.
And there we've seen 44 Luke Clark traditionally on that play with Murphy crash down and stop that dive play, whether it's Benefield or Binyard going in between the tackles. He actually followed Murphy all the way out and made him string it along further down the line of scrimmage.
Now can Furman return the favor and get the Owl offense off the field? Its own 3-and-out. Foster, Bohannon, the receivers. Foster in motion across the formation. Murphy throws, almost intercepted. Incomplete to Foster. Blackshear in coverage, 4th and 7.
That's 2 tonight that Blackshear wants back. Could have added 2 to his tally. Man, I'm surprised Murphy decided to throw that football. Blackshear was right in front of Foster almost the whole way. And honestly, throwing it Blackshear's way anyway is just that's a really nice reaction from him, just jumping that route. But throwing it his way at any point tonight has been dangerous.
Hewitt tasked to punt. Harris signals for the fair catch. And Railsden at the 15 will step aside. One-score ball game with 7 minutes left in the 4th quarter. Furman looks for separation following this timeout. And quarterback Tyler Huff, nothing short of impressive tonight. A career-high 4 rushing touchdowns for the Paladins, Barkley.
Yeah, I mean, he's been so impressive, been the heartbeat of this Paladins offense. And, man, he plays with an attitude that you got to give it to him. You know, I'm sure that's driving this offense, and he's been so impressive. I can't say much more. Tough, making great decisions all night, no miscues. 21 for 29 through the air for 204 yards on top of his 4 rushing touchdowns.
No turnovers by Huff tonight. Hasn't fumbled the football, hasn't thrown a pick. Fakes the handoff. His number through the middle for a few. Continues to churn the legs and makes it out to the 20.
Kennesaw State needs to stay aggressive here and try to get the ball back to their offense. Felt like they actually had some juice going 2 drives ago. Want to get it all the way back to them. And
Huff wants his towel.
I'm about to say, needs his towel. Needs his towel. I was wondering. I was like, where's he going? Wrong sideline. But it all starts with stopping Tyler Huff.
I think Puda Walker took that. That's what you're taught as a D lineman, right? You see an opponent's towel on the ground.
You're taught to just annoy them in any way you can.
2nd and 6. Roberto searches along the left side. Carlos Allen slings him down. He gets just a yard. It's 3rd down for the Paladins.
The fans got to see a little look at that if they got to watch quarterback on Netflix. Patrick Mahomes talked about it. He was like, I know that they teach the defensive linemen to constantly touch you and just and they did. They talked about it with us. It was, just always kind of make them as uncomfortable as you can. Well, there's just a little chip afterwards or, knocking them on the hip, just anything. Get them uncomfortable in the pocket.
What's the call here for Furman on a 3rd and 4?
I think you go to the air, intermediate passing game. Make sure Tyler Huff has the football. Let him know he can run it if he needs to.
3rd down, it's a read. Huff loses the football. Oh, he held on to it. Kennesaw State gets a big 3rd down stop. Danelius Man Johnson throws down Huff, who almost turned it over.
Yeah, Huff trying to hit his tight end right there, number 89, Mason Pline, and just the ball slips out of his hand, goes right up in there. He is thanking his lucky stars that did not wind up in the talons of an owl.
He hates me. I said he's played clean football and hasn't turned the football over.
Wow. And you can see him visually frustrated over there on the bench.
Levy to punt. Right heel at his own end zone. Kick is short. Foster signals for the fair catch. KSU takes possession from its own 48-yard line with 4:51 to go in the ball game, down by 7 against number 7 Furman.
Something that we got to hit on again, Nolan, is this brand new offensive line. This is a big task for them. You got to get that offense clicking, and you're going to have to lean on them some.
Right now, there are 2 that were in the starting 5 for game 1. One of those, Al Hogan, is out of position at center. The other is Deron Willis, the right tackle. Benyard, the playmaker through the air. Sidecar ride of Murphy. Foster in motion. Foster takes the jet sweep, breaks a tackle in the backfield. Upfield at the 50 and weaves his way inside Furman territory for a pickup of 4.
Talk about making something out of nothing. That was nothing there. Probably really stopped about 2 yards deep, able to escape that tackle and get north and south and get a really nice 4-yard gain.
Again, KSU driving late in a ball game against a SoCon opponent back-to-back Saturdays. Owls now outrush the Paladins. Murphy on this rush play is swallowed up. Furman was ready for it and drops him for a yard loss.
Yeah, and that all started up front with number 7, Matt Sakova, just getting in there, setting the edge. He got penetration, something I talked about. It was in my Miller's Must. They haven't really done that great the second half, is playing in the backfield of this offense. But, when we got an all-new offensive line out there as well, that helps.
Just 1 3rd down conversion for KSU today. That was by Alexander Diggs. Benyard in at tailback. Murphy gives it to him. Benyard through the middle, a 1st down and more. Benyard to the 30. Benyard to the 20. Benyard with a burst. Scores for the 3rd time tonight. Give the ball to Gabe Benyard and good things happen.
How impressive is that man? I think it's the second time I've said it on this broadcast, but I got to. He's electric. He's an electric factory. I mean, and this has pretty much been tonight, Nolan. If you were, whoever's writing up the summary of this game, it's been
Script writers did a heck of a job.
Huff v. Binyard. Name it. I mean, it's, wow, so impressive. And great read by quarterback Jonathan Murphy.
Key extra point right down the middle. 28 all our score with 3:29 left in the ballgame.
That was it. Binyard executed it, but great read by Jonathan Murphy. Defensive end on the left side sat, waiting for Murphy. Sorry, on the right side, and then Binyard did the rest. Cut back, made two-man miss, off to the races, and you're not catching that horse.
Binyard gets the credit there, but you got to point out that hole that he had on the left side.
He did.
Behind this offensive line, again, that has had on the previous drive, James Dawson, the center, injured. Seaburn Hines, who got to start at tackle for the first time. And there's Binyard catching his breath in the sideline after his third touchdown. The Owls look to replicate their largest comeback, and that was a barn burner in Florence, Alabama 2 years ago.
Sure was. It was fun to be there. They were the cardiac kids back then, and they're trying to be tonight, even though I would say this has been like a heavyweight boxing match. Both teams just trading blows, winning around here, losing around there, coming back, winning another one. It's been a fun one to watch.
Try the pooch kick again, and it sails out of bounds once more.
I don't think they're going to try that one a third time.
I don't know if third time's the charm there.
Free kick out of bounds. Number 77, kicking team. Ball being placed at the 35-yard line. First down.
So now for Furman, you've had the lead the past two drives. You've been pretty conservative in play calling. It's a tie ball game, but you have plenty of clock with 3:29 left.
You do, and you know, you go down and you milk this clock out and score late. It's ball game pretty much. So I don't look for them to get super aggressive, but I will tell you a play that I know we're going to see at some point in this drive. We're going to see that quarterback power with Tyler Huff.
No Roberto in the backfield. It's 21, Jaquan Smith. Crowd into it at Fifth Third Bank Stadium. Huff set to pass, lets it rip. Ferguson wide open, inside out territory at the 45.
And we saw that earlier, and it was a very similar play. Ferguson just kind of getting behind that Owls defensive backfield, and whoever is playing that Jack Joker position isn't doing a very good job of carrying him over to that outer third. Right there, I could be wrong, but I think it was number 31, Isaac Paul, was responsible for him.
Freshman getting a lot of snaps for KSU this season. Tie game. Huff, play fake, dumps it off to Mason Pline with his second catch. Shoves off a defender, Chance Gamble. And a good gain on first down for the Ferris State transfer.
That was a kind of funky looking play. A lot of standing around from both the Paladins and the Owls during the play.
Goes for almost 9 on first down. Furman slows its operation with substitutions. Owls counter the sub. Paul goes out. Jalen Barnum, the linebacker, in. That's Chance Gamble, the corner that you were looking at. Second and 1. Handoff. Smith gains a first down for the Paladins to the 30.
Paladins are staying slow and methodical with this drive. Besides, I mean, naturally hit that big play through the air. But since then, you got to think that they feel like they're in nice control of this football game, just now ticking under 2 minutes, and really been able to establish the running game late in the second half.
Furman has a 2-kicker system. Axel LaPro, who has not attempted a field goal this year, and Ian Williams, his season long is 32. He missed from 48 yards, or 46, pardon me, to start the second quarter. On first down, Huff, keeper, wide open, left side. Huff inside the 20 is tracked down by Charles Remy at the 10.
The difference maker. Just like on the opposite side of the football with Binyard, Huff has been the difference maker for the Paladins here. It seems like very few times, if he wants to do it, it's going to be done.
Kennesaw State takes its first time out of the half.
Definitely want to get
timeout. Kennesaw State, their first of the half. Will be a 30-second timeout. Please reset the game clock to 1 minute, 23 seconds.
Definitely want to get that defense together here and talk about what you want to do. Points are probably inevitable now that you're inside the 10, but holding them to a field goal changes the dynamic, especially whenever the Kennesaw State offense gets back out there. So you talk to the guys and you tell them, look, you got to bow your neck, you got to play hard. Every inch matters once you're in the red zone.
Do you give the ball to anyone other than Huff in this situation?
Oh, no, I couldn't see why. Even though, I mean, I know Roberto has been a horse for him for the most of the season, but the way that Huff has played tonight, you got to have the ball in his hands.
Jaquan Smith is running back. 1st and 10 from the 11. Huff on the keeper, spun forward by Jalen Barton, the linebacker.
Timeout. Kennesaw State, their second of the half. 30-second timeout. Please reset the game clock to 1 minute, 20 seconds.
A little shock to burn your second time out there. I know the clock is ticking, but you want to save at least one, which I know they have one left, so you don't want to burn it anymore, but you want to save it for whenever your offense is back out there.
I don't know. You never know what's going to happen. Did you watch that Memphis-Navy game the other night?
Yes, you're right. You're right. I mean, we've seen crazier things happen, but you got to plan for, you got to play the odds, the schematics.
Huff and Roper as offensive coordinator. See with a headset on in the midst of those white jerseys. Furman, number 7 in the nation, playing KSU for the second time. Paladins trying to affirm their identity in 2023. Lost an All-American tight end, returned just about everyone else, the most veteran team in Clay Hendricks' history here in year 7. On a 2nd and 6, Huff to pass, completion, tackled at the 4, DeAndre Morris with a great tackle against Joshua Harris.
As a touchdown saving tackle right there by Morris, stepping up from his safety position, getting on the legs.
Timeout. Kennesaw State, their third and final timeout of the half. It'll be 30 seconds.
That is tackle number 16 for DeAndre Morris tonight. The KSU record 17 by Evan Thompson.
Yeah, we had the pleasure of watching him play here at Kennesaw State 2 years ago. Very impressive linebacker. That's even, traditionally, you don't want your safeties to lead in tackling, but with the way that Huff's playing, it's not surprising that a safety from Kennesaw State's leading in tackling.
So 3rd and 1. Again, Furman here at the 3 does not have to score a touchdown. Paladins can get a first down. Clock will continue to run. Furman, as you can see, has all 3 of its timeouts with 1:15 remaining in the ballgame. Brian Bohannon said he wants to see his team cut it loose. Don't have paralysis by analysis. We heard that from every coordinator and the head coach. They got the Eagles' Jalen Hurts formation on 3rd and 1. Huff takes it left side. Huff lowers the shoulder. He's got a 1st and goal. Owls hold him out of the end zone. But that's enough for a 1st down.
It is so hard to stop that formation that the Eagles have definitely made famous with Jalen Hurts. I think they call it, would Kelsey call it the other night, the quarterback push?
Tush push?
Yeah, the tush push. I mean, it's so hard to stop, especially whenever you can kind of build off of it like that and go off tackle.
4th down. Not enough for a 1st down. 4th and 1 here for Furman.
Wow, we missed that. I thought that was good, especially the second effort.
It is less than a yard to go. I'm surprised this isn't being measured. So Furman will let the clock tick down here. And we'll take a delay of game to give separation for a game-winning field goal.
Delay game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 4th down. Please reset the game clock to 24 seconds.
So no tush push, but around the outside here for Huff. Didn't get it. Garland Binyard hanging on for dear life. Help is coming in the form of DeAndre Morris and Barrett
Kennesaw
Hobson.
State has declined that penalty. It is 4th down.
So the Owls decline the delay of game. 4th and a chip shot. Again, Furman uses 2 different kickers. Axel Lepro and Ian Williams, who missed from 46. This is Williams from 46, pushed it from that left hash. Williams comes on here to give Furman the lead with under 30 seconds to go. He is 1 for 3 this season out of the hold of Charles Watson. The kick by Williams nails it, and Furman leads with the field goal with 21 seconds to go. It's 31-28 Paladins.
And I like the call by Coach Bohannon there, not accepting the delay of game penalty and making him kind of have that awkward angle in. Now, hats off to Williams for nailing it. That was right down the middle. Tall task for the Owls now. 21 seconds left to go down the field and force overtime with a field goal.
NC State transfer knew it right away from short yardage, and Furman leads by 3.
Let's see if there's a little magic in Murphy's hat. He's had a great game tonight, but you know who they're going to try to get it to. They're going to try to get it to Binyard.
Binyard has been the playmaker on offense for KSU this evening. 2 receiving scores, a rushing touchdown. Leads the Owls 6 carries for 65 yards and a score, 6 catches, 136 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He's had a 49-yard rush, a 61-yard reception. Williams, after the field goal, now kicks it off for the Paladins. Binyard back to return. And the kick line straight at Binyard. He brings it out. Binyard to the 20, the 25, Binyard the 30, and forward just shy of the 40-yard line.
Yeah, that clock ran a long time, Nolan. I feel like it should have been more like 19 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, not a friendly home operator tonight. So 17 seconds for KSU. Dwayne Vaughn, Clay Hendricks look on. Binyard here with a kickoff return.
Please reset the game clock to 19 seconds.
There we go, 19 for KSU.
That's why I get paid the big bucks. Notice things like that.
I didn't know we were paying you that much. Binyard in at tailback with Murphy. Owls cannot afford a sack here. Familiar situation last week at Chattanooga. Murphy thought he had a Houdini play. It was overruled. Murphy throws. Kent on the drag route. Runs his way out of bounds to stop the clock with 14 ticks.
And that is just perfect 2-minute offense. Try to get it out of your quarterback's hands quickly as possible to the flats and let whoever it is that has the football get out of bounds, stop that clock.
Four-man rush. Murphy, home run ball for Foster. Furman got a hand on it, and it looks like the Paladins hang on for a game-ending pick. Callie Chiswick fighting with Foster. They are wrestling for it. And an interception for Furman. That concludes it. Callie Chiswick picks it off for the Paladins.
What an effort play by Chiswick. I mean, 50-50 ball between Foster and Chiswick, and Chiswick just wrestles it away from Isaac Foster.
Rolling on the field is an interception. First down, Furman.
You'd think they're going to probably take a look at it, but from my view at the booth, I do think that was an interception.
Rolling on the
from
field
Chiswick.
of an interception is under further review.
Little underthrown by Murphy.
Yeah.
Foster was behind Chiswick.
Foster had a chance there, and 3 was not going to roll over. Brinson was not going to roll over far enough to make the play if Murphy just floated it a little bit further. God, what is the rule? Is it tie goes to the offense, or is it just, up to the?
And that appeared that Chiswick had possession of it.
Yeah,
I
would give it to Chiswick. I would. What an effort play by Chiswick though, going up and just wrestling it away from Foster. Foster was fighting for it, but I would give it to Chiswick there.
Jonathan Murphy, get another look at it again. I don't see anything enough to overturn that.
Yeah, me either. It was very you know, reminiscent of the helmet catch.
That ends, if this call stands, ends a streak for Jonathan Murphy of 141 straight passes without an interception. There he is, the youngster, learned defense from his dad, Gene Chizik. That was at his press conference at Auburn, of course, won a national championship with Cam Newton. Now leads the defense at North Carolina. Young Callie in the bottom right of your screen.
Definitely, you know, had a great mentor growing up, learned the defense, now playing safety. Can't ask for much more.
At the review, ruling on the field is confirmed. It is an interception. First down, Furman.
And the 5th career interception for Callie Chizik will close a thriller as number 7 Furman survives Kennesaw State tonight at Fifth Third Bank Stadium.
I'm sure Coach Bohannon is not going to agree or be pleased by that call, but I do think it was the right call. Really nice play by Chizik.
Huff takes a knee, and Furman escapes with a 3-point win on the road. 4 rushing scores for Tyler Huff tonight. And the Ian Williams field goal wins it for Furman as the Paladins move to 2-1 of the season. Kennesaw State falls to 1-2 this year. Clay Hendricks, Brian Bohannon